Something's talking. It's like,
hello. Oh, what's up, guys? We're about to go live. Oh, it didn't work, but never mind.
oh,
Good effort. Good effort.
What's up? Why didn't that work? I'm sorry.
It was going so well. So
It
well.
was going so well.
It was planned and everything.
Jeez, I look like a ghost today. Good evening, everybody. Madness is trying to work out what he's done.
There it
wrong.
was. I wasn't clicked. Damn it! There's the logo. I had it clicked. There we go. delayed.
Moist
But there it
noodle.
is. We're live. Everyone's live. How you going? Audio check. Can everyone hear? So we'll just do a round check. You can obviously, I would imagine you can hear me. Ms. Speak, please.
Hello. Good evening. Welcome.
And Moist.
Can't hear him.
It's me, Moist Noodle.
Woohoo! Good stuff.
Moist noodle.
Excellent. Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to the second episode of the Asylum in 2018. Very exciting. I mean, I kind of, it's the second episode of the show, but it's over a year of doing podcasts. So
Over a year of podcast. Yeah, it feels like diminishing you not using the other ones that we've had, but it's a new show. It's a new everything. So
it's a new show. Same but different. But
Same
different
but
but the same. Same but different but different but the same. Okay, so we'll just go around the table. Just find out what.
First of all, before you kick that off, do you want to just talk about the BritainCon video that you just showed, and then we'll kick off what we've been doing?
Cool, you do it. I'll set this up.
The video at the start was BritainCon 2018, which is happening in Manchester on the 21st, was it? It said it on the video. So we just basically we're all going. Well, Madness probably isn't now, but we're going to BritainCon. We've been the last few years. It's an excellent fan-made event. We're trying to help them sell tickets. So if you are in the UK, or even if you're abroad and you can get on a plane and get over here, I'm a bit low apparently. I'll move closer. Yeah, buy yourself a ticket. I'll spam the links in chat in a moment. Make sure you join and come and meet us there. Say hello. There's dev panels there. There's going to be things on show. I can't remember. They haven't given us full details now of some of the stuff that's coming, but last year they had like game cab and things like that you can go and look at. There should be a tournament providing that the combat is working fine. And then otherwise, yeah, there should be normally. I think last time there's 2 dev panels, there's Q&A, and then there's just Bar Citizen afterwards where we all go get drunk and talk about Star Citizen.
That could get messy.
It could get messy. It normally does. In fact, yeah, last time we was at a pub and we ordered about 100 plus pizzas, and literally at the one wall of the pub was just lined with pizza boxes.
That sounds like a dream to me.
So it got messy, but it's really good. So I'll post some links in chat, and yeah, if you can make it in Manchester at the end of April, make sure you come and join us. Buy yourself a ticket, book somewhere to stay, and make sure you come.
Yes.
And you get one of these t-shirts.
I won't be there because, and the reason is, it's not that I don't want to defend my title of the BritainCon champion of last year. However, I made a slight mistake in impregnating my wife the time that I did, because she's 8.5 months pregnant, and I forgot that obviously I have a 2-year-old and I can't leave the lady behind. So yeah, and I can't really bring her in the car
when impregnating your wife.
Exactly. I should have thought about it, but you know what? In the heat of the moment, I wasn't thinking about BritainCon. Let's put it that way.
All I'm going to say, Madness, next time you're banging her, just have my face in your head saying, time it right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a tattoo. We'll put some tattoos on the body. BritainCon, just to remember the date, 21st. Such an amateur, yeah, man, definitely. So I can't believe it. I'm not going to be there, but I'm going to do is the money that I was going to pay for some tickets, I'm going to get some t-shirts and goodies, and I'm going to give them to Miz to take up for the event. So so I'll be there in spirit. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe some pictures of me like holding up the trophy, maybe more big pictures of me, kind of like just on the front of t-shirts and stuff. Just maybe a cardboard cutout might
really
give.
Flaunt you having the trophy when you're not there to defend it.
That's true. That's probably just champ. Maybe some music.
We could make like an 8-foot by 20-foot banner just with Madness's face with the words "Remember Me." Sounds great.
Oh God! Oh shit! I forgot. I've got the bloody. I got this nice new chair on Elite Lounge. I keep forgetting, and I almost keep falling out the back of the green screen every now and again. Right. Let's anyway, yeah. So yeah, BritainCon definitely need tickets, guys. They need to sell another 100 tickets, mainly to get money for like other things as well and for goodies and stuff. So they've sold, I think, around about 100. They need to sell another 100 or something odd. So if we need to sell those tickets, get more people there. Obviously, Aaron Roberts is going to be there. So yeah, if you are in the UK or if you're nearby or you're interested, it's a great venue to go to if you can't make CitizenCon. Do it. Get those tickets. So how's everyone been? It's been a pretty crazy week for Star Citizen, I think. We had a huge download of information from Reverse the Verse, monthly schedule report. They tend to do this, then they give us a drought for 6 months.
Yeah. We're going to fit this into one show, and then that's it. Then it's like...
Because I'm thinking we have to kind of ration this information a little bit and try and spread it out over the next couple of weeks. But I'm hoping the studio reports come back properly in ATV, but they haven't confirmed, so... I don't know. We had kind of had a studio report last ATV, but yeah.
That picture.
Which picture?
The one on the document.
Oh no.
Don't. I'll just.
Okay, no problem. So anyway, so let's. We'll introduce our guest, Moist Noodle. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's me, Moist Noodle, from such.
Tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What you do.
I Twitch. Normally, I drink bottles of whiskey and chat shit. That's pretty much the premise of my stream.
Perfect.
And I give away lots of gift cards and gift sub lots.
You do give quite a lot. You give a lot away, don't you?
Yes, I do. I'm not very good with my money.
I was about to say, it's not like, is this a special kind of money laundering system going on here?
My account is going to be pissed in April. Never mind.
When you see the bill, be like, oh, it'll be like bread and water for the next couple of months.
Yeah, I haven't looked at my bank account since December, so I'm just avoiding it right now.
Okay, I'll fix that. That's good.
Don't do it, boys. Don't do it. So yeah, do you stream just Star Citizen solely, or do you play other games as well?
So when I first started streaming, which was about 2 years ago, I think, I played an awful game called Trove. Think Minecraft, but an MMO. But then I realized quite quickly it was full of children, so I stopped streaming that. And then I casually streamed War Thunder, and kind of because of my old job, I didn't really have much free time, so that was just really, really casual. And now I have a job that I absolutely love, and it's really chilled out. I'm not exactly shattered when I get home, so I stream a lot more. And at the moment, it's just Star Citizen, but I'm probably going to play some other games. It depends what, because I tend to have a core set of viewers. It's kind of what they want to watch, really. So. Yeah, I'll probably change it up kind of soon. I've noticed as well, Miserable and myself were kind of chatting about it before we went live. It's kind of gone a little bit quiet on Twitch at the moment, Star Citizen, like the last week or so. I've noticed a lot of the other streamers are playing other games. So, yeah, got to see what happens. It looks like Madness. It keeps looking like you're stroking my hair with your cursor.
Why is that
a little scratch?
Who wouldn't? Get it off. Get it off me.
Why is that even appearing on the screen?
Because you've ticked the box where it says show cursor in video capture or game capture or whatever it is one you've picked.
No. Okay, I'll have to look at that later. I don't know what I've done there, but I've done something silly.
Keep your cursor off my face.
I will keep my cursor on people's faces. Da-da-da. It's Mrs. Hair. Ooh, Miz. Sorry, bad habit. Right, I'm trying to get the audio. People are saying the audio's out. Sorry, people are saying the audio's out, so I just need to. They're saying I'm too loud, which is.
No. I mean, we went for almost most of the year where Madness was always the quiet one. I think this is his revenge. He's going to start off 2018 being the loudest fucker on the podcast.
I don't get it. It's just. I need a sound engineer to come into my life and just sort this shit out. Come around my house. I'll pay someone come around my house and just.
Can't you just turn us up on Discord individually?
I've turned you. You're all turned up really loud. It's now I'm the problem. Turning me down.
Are we on 200% on Discord?
You are both. You are at 200%, Miz, and Moist is at 150%. I can crank him up to 200 as well.
Hello, it's me.
Crank him up.
Now Madness is quiet. Oh, for fuck. How about now? This is where I reckon people just trolling me. Go fuck yourselves. Let's move on. Honestly, it's just too easy. I swear, every time we come on the podcast, I swear somebody is just too easy. Just turn it up on your end. You probably go, oh, sorry, my mistake. I forgot I had the audio muted on my end. Oh, I'm so bad. Madness spends like 40 minutes trying to fix it. Somebody's not turned up their audio at their end. Oh, I forgot my headphones weren't turned up. Exactly.
Perfect.
Sounds good now. Exactly. It's done. Right. Let's move on. So, yes. Fantastic. Well, no, it's great to have you because I remember. It was only like how long? It was only like a couple of weeks ago, I think, or it feels like a couple of weeks ago. I think it was a bit longer than that, but I remember it was before Christmas. I remember like people were telling me about you, and I was like, I popped into your stream because I saw you were on, and I was like, oh, who's this person? And I was like, oh, he's really good. He's really cool. It's, you had a nice energy and a flow about your stream. So I was just like watching you, and you kept it up, which is the important thing. Kept streaming Star Citizen. So it's like, well, we'll get him on the show. I always go through. I like to go around all the streamers and see everyone and stuff because I'm as much of a nut on Twitch in terms of talking to people and engaging with the Twitch people streamers. I enjoy that bit as much as I enjoy streaming. So,
well, I remember watching your stream once, and somebody was asking when you're going to get Moist Noodle on the show. To which your response was, well, if he's consistent with streaming, then we'll get him on the show. So now I've been on the show. Now I can fuck off. It's been great. Yeah. And I'll catch you later. I won't be streaming anymore.
That's what normally happens. Is I think it's a few people have done that. Achievement. Well, no, it's a good. Wow, you've got really low achievement standards. If that's your level of achievement. Sorry, guys. This is crazy. I've got to drink lots of water. I didn't drink.
I've got the same problem. I've got to drink lots of whiskey. So,
oh, dude, that's the problem. I normally like this. I was on the show the other, it was last one when we had the Schlur bottle, and at the end of the show, I drank 3/4 of a bottle of Schlur, and obviously it's not alcoholic, but I was like, that would normally be like whiskey or like vodka, or it would be, I don't know, some ridiculously high alcohol volume of content, and it's scary when you think about it, how much you actually consume as a streamer, booze-wise, if you're not careful.
Do you know the funny thing? It's like I've actually been going through like several of my streams over Christmas. I went through 70 centiliter bottles of whiskey in single streams. And I purposely didn't buy any more whiskey because I was worried that I would end up being drunk on this stream. And then yesterday, people kept saying, why haven't you got any whiskey? Why haven't you got any whiskey? I was like, well, I don't have any whiskey. And then I suddenly realized yesterday, I was moving loads of boxes from what was my grandparents' house, and it's stuff that I inherited. And as I was going through the boxes, I found a bottle of my granddad's whiskey, right? So he bought this in 2002, and it's an 8-year-old Bell's. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And somebody actually turned around to me yesterday when I was streaming and said, dude, don't open the bottle. Don't open the bottle. It's probably going to be worth something. I was like, nah, it'll be fine. It's probably not worth anything. Started drinking it. I actually priced it up in work today. I could have bought a fucking ship. That's how I value everything in life now. Is how many
that was at least 3 ships.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we have to off the topic of booze, because if we talk about it more, I'll want to drink, and I'm pretty much borderline an alcoholic before Christmas.
Before we go off it, I will say I'm impressed, Madness, that you've stopped for as long as you have, and to be honest, and you even went to a Bar Citizen and did.
I did.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, well done. It's good.
Thank you. Now it's the support is great because, like I said, I was pretty much heading down a very close road to becoming an alcoholic. I think so. I had to kind of put the brakes on it. So that's why I've stopped for the time being, just until I get a grip of it and get some exercise and get a bit healthy again. Big thank you to Moist Noodle. Thank you so much, by the way, for the giveaway, or whoever it was to give it to you, or whatever the deal is. I don't know, but actually, do you want to say?
Right. So there's a streamer called The Few who is awesome. He's only actually been streaming for a number of weeks, and he only had like 10 followers, and I pulled him in to dual stream, and literally within a week he had his subscribe button. That's how quickly no, actually I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks. It was ridiculously quick anyway. But he's also really, really generous. He also goes into other streamers and gift bombs and donates and stuff like that. So he's been looking for somebody to do an emote for him. He's been dropping subtle hints that he wants me to create an emote. So I said, yes, finally, I'll create the emote for you. And he's given me the tonk for creating the emote. So technically, this giveaway is from The Few. So
from The Few. Oh, cool. Excellent. I think we hosted The Few either last week or
we did, yeah.
Of the,
I think it was last week.
I think we hosted him. So yeah, I watched a few of his streams. They're very good. Very, very good. But to be fair, it's hard to find bad. I mean, okay, there's always a couple, but generally it's hard to find bad streams. So I think usually bad ones just need a bit of advice, really. Just need some advice.
That's the thing. I tend to there's a couple of streamers that I tend to host quite a lot who don't actually have that many followers, but I know they've been streaming for a while. But I find them sort of really entertaining. I think just every Star Citizen streamer is just very different. And, I look at me and The Few are very, very different types of streamers, but we have a really good relationship and we kind of bounce off each other. And he's very creative and he comes up with these really elaborate scenarios. Like this evening, I know that he was trying to stack boxes as high as he could, like I think in a single column or something. It's just silly
good
things
idea.
like that. I can never think of scenarios like that. I just get drunk and chat shit. I don't understand why people...
It's true though. I'm always amazed at the crazy shenanigans that people come up with, and like I go, oh, that's so fucking clever. Why didn't I think of that? That's so simple. Or like I think it was Saurus. I mean, whether you like it or not, it was like flying from one station to another station, attempting to do that. I was like, I don't care what you say. No one had done it before. It was really original. A bit boring for me, but it was generally quite original to do it. And I'm amazed at the imagination. Again, I don't know why I'm amazed, because I work in the creative industries where it's like, how can you redesign a shoe? Well, we somehow managed to do it like a lot. So it's I don't know why I'm actually surprised how good people are. Right, okay, let's find out how Miz has been up to. What are you up to, mate?
Bit of rolling on mine, I think. Go straight to you.
Okay. Well, no, we're tempted to do D&D, weren't we? So we still got Saturday. We've been sorting out lots of other stuff.
Friday, we've been working a lot on some D&D stuff. So next Friday we'll be continuing the adventure. Last Friday, Trinity took over as DM for me and did a little campaign because real life got in the way as usual. So hopefully next week we'll be continuing our campaign and carrying on from that. Yeah, that'll be on Friday.
Yeah, that should be good. We're doing lots of stuff though. We've got me and Miz have been behind the scenes, like regarding the Asylum and the overall kind of channel. We've been working a lot behind the scenes to get all the channels, everything from YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, everything kind of Facebook and all the rest of it. We've been working to get that all set up. We still haven't done all of it, but we're still working on it to get most of it set. We've got most of it set up. I think there's a few things we've still got to do. And then we've been working on content. Oh my God. What is that? Is just so cute though. Like my missus would die. I should try and get my missus to come and look at your dog. She'd love that.
Don't let her watch.
Is it an Alsatian?
German Shepherd, yeah.
German Shepherd.
Her name is Chewy, by the way.
Chewy. Oh, good name.
Wow,
she's adorable.
Good name. I'd call mine Chainsaw if I had a dog.
What dog?
Call it Chainsaw.
Rottweiler?
No, it'd be really tiny. It'd be a really tiny. Corgi,
the chainsaw, the chihuahua,
or a chow chow. Is it chow chow? Is that the one, the big chow, the big furry ones? But I'd call it like a really menacing name. Yeah, I'd call it a really menacing name though. Like chainsaw, or kind of like, I don't know, something horrible that people would be terrified. And then this little dog. I'd definitely train it to seek balls as well. I should shout just, and if anyone knows, if anyone knows they know about. I mean, like I said, I'm showing my age there, but that's a movie obviously referenced to Stand By Me. So if you've never seen Stand By Me, you youngsters out there, go watch it. It's a classic. Right. Okay, so and then my week's just been basically with Miz. We've been just I've been crazy busy with work. Deadlines for shoes is unfortunately taking up a huge amount of my time. So it happens at this time of the year. We've got spring summer season to get out, so streaming unfortunately has to take a bit of a back seat whilst I get all my deadlines. And my boss is, we need to get the shoes out, so that's the priority. Otherwise, I can't afford really nice things like this brand new chair that arrived. So.
That's a nice chair you've got there, Madness.
It is so nice. It's like I've been sitting on a wooden chair for ages.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually.
Oh my god. No. You guys carry on. I'm just going to lounge here.
If any of you ever remember Cage Geek, he was exactly the same. He had a wooden chair for ages. Everyone kept saying to him, for God's sake, upgrade your chair, get a proper chair. And eventually he did go out and get a decent chair. And he was going to do, he said, right, we're going to get the old chair, we're going to smash it up and burn it on stream and just have a ceremonial burning of the wooden chair.
I was actually thinking about him the other day because I was wondering what ever happened to him. Because he doesn't stream
now and again. No. He work took over and he got promotion, so he concentrated on work more. Plus, having 4 kids,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Life a bit. So, no, he's good. He said he was going to come back, and so we'll probably see him again at some point. But he appears and then disappears again. So.
Yeah, I mean the burnout rate. I mean, for a lot of people that are interested in streaming and you see what we do and you enjoy it and stuff, the burnout rate is actually quite high. Because it is actually quite demanding and because people's lives change. You tend to see streamers come and go all the time. That's why I always say, similar to Detox and to other people, is support streamers because they put a lot of work and a lot of effort in behind the scenes. So if you have got a little bit of money and you enjoy the content that people provide, definitely support the streamers because it goes a long way to helping them be able to fund things and do things and stuff. So you should always support your streamers.
It really surprised me actually because my last job as a server engineer, and it was very, very stressful, and I ended up leaving my job after saving some money. So I've been off work since August, and that's kind of, I wasn't working when I started streaming again, and I was spending most of my day streaming like every day, and that was tiring enough. Now I'm back at work and it's not an overly stressful job, it's quite easy really, but my puppy wakes me up at 5 a.m. every day and then I get home at 4:30, and then once I've sorted out the puppy and I've made my food, then I start streaming, and then I finish streaming and then I go straight to bed. And when you do that for like 5 days straight, it actually does get quite tiring. So yeah, I have a lot of respect now for streamers, which I didn't really get that before.
They do. I mean, I'm the same. Until you actually put yourself in the shoes, you never really understand exactly how tiring what we do actually is. So yeah. Enough about us and how wonderful we are. Let's go to the Google document. Let me just dig it up actually quickly because I just realised it's closed for some reason. Is the question open? Is the questions open, Miz?
Yep, I've opened it up.
Oh, cool. So exclamation question. Yeah, please ask us questions and we will get to them. We'll probably try to do like a 2-hour show, and then we'll do like an hour of questions depending on obviously how many questions we get. We get 2 questions, then it'll be 5 minutes.
We'll out for an hour.
And we'll bring in some questions that I've already prepared. But obviously, the more questions you give us, the more topics that we can chat about and stuff. So please,
Chat would like to know.
Yeah, what's your favourite ships? Well, okay, we've never answered that one before. My favourite ship is, I keep trying to think of some new ships that I like.
A different ship every week.
Different ship, yeah.
My favourite ship is...
I need to change it. Every week I'm going to change it. You're my favourite. You're my favourite. As the late great would say. So, let's go straight into monthly report. So we had the monthly report, which gave us a lot of information. And I really like the, so I'm going to go up with the ships first, because I'm just going to go straight, as we're talking about ships, let's just go straight to ships. So I'm just going to bring up the
it's like we knew what
TV now. Yeah, exactly. Oh, hang on, we cut off a bit of the page. The Blade. the Vanduul. So we'll go straight to one of my favorite topics, the Vanduul. So let me just quickly bring this over here so that I can bring up some pop-ups. So we've got the Vanduul. So this is the new blade. So this is the rework. So I believe I've got the original one here, actually. Do you know what? I just realized I should have opened up these earlier. But this is the original blade, I believe.
It looks like a leathery skin on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is the original blade. So this is to show you how much how much has kind of changed. So this is the original leak way back when there was a huge kind of download. I think someone sent something out, and there's a huge amount of information was leaked. This is, I think, part of that leak, and this was the original one. It's very kind of like, Klingon-esque, and then this is kind of the new blade. So they've kept obviously the styling in the sense that it's kind of got the kind of aggressive wings, the kind of the bird of prey kind of elements to it, but they've really shortened the width of the wings. They've really reduced everything. It's much more bone, kind of black, menacing cyclone. Really like it. Really happy with it. They've obviously gone for
bat wing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just like over here. I don't know if you can see, like they've added like these little spiky kind of things, which I think will play into what I was going to discuss, which is the glaive. Hang on, let me just bring up the glaive. Oh, not glaive. Where is it?
I might be completely wrong, or maybe it's just me, but it feels very Cylon.
Yeah, that's it. It's the Cylons. It's very Cylon-y. It is very Cylon-y. Which I mean, I'm a big I love Battlestar Galactica, so it's all good with me. If you don't like it, then unlucky.
I never actually saw the original leak because I purposely always avoided them. So thanks for spoiling that for me, man.
You're welcome.
It's really really interesting to see how the ship has changed. I love it. I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, I loved this when I saw this. I thought this was wicked as well. But now that I've seen this, it fits more with the overall aesthetics of what they're trying to achieve. Let me dig up. So this is the glaive and the scythe, I believe. So just because I want to talk about here we go. So this is kind of what they look like now. So if you can kind of imagine, that's what they look like now, and then that was what these ones look like, the original one, and then now this is the styling that they've gone to. So I would definitely say you're going to get a real change of design. Sorry, I'm flicking around between pictures here, but I think you're going to see a real change of the glaive. A lot more. It's still going to have, I wouldn't be surprised if they still have this very aggressive side wing, kind of like standing out. They'll go with that look, but I'm expecting to see much more of this kind of blade-esque and more cyclone, and the cockpit's going to be red, and it's going to just look fucking cool. I can't wait.
They look a lot more intimidating. They don't look like they're going to fall apart anymore, which I think...
I like the look in the first place, though, but this does look nice.
Yeah, I think they can it's just an improvement, hopefully. I mean, some people obviously be a bit salty about it, but I've always felt that the bird-like element of it felt more like a Tavarian ship than an actual Vanduul ship.
I think maybe that's what they tried to pull away from that a little bit. Because I think quite a few people said that, didn't they? That it looks kind of birdish, and therefore something a Tavaran would have rather than that. But
so I'm going to ruin your day because this was another leaked one. This is the heavy fighter.
Okay, that looks awesome.
This was the heavy fighter leak. So this was the so I'm again. So if you think about this one here, I'm expecting kind of again similar kind of styling. I do apologize. Sorry, it's if you haven't looked at this stuff, where have you been?
I mean, these are ships that you shouldn't be looking at.
Yeah, these are some freaking sexy ships right here. And then hang on.
So are those missiles or rockets?
I believe
in the wing?
they look like they are missiles. Yeah, they do look like missiles on the side. So I'm just curious. This is what it was. I mean, like I said, I'm expecting it could be a complete whole rework. I wouldn't surprise me if because this was leaked. They wouldn't be surprised if they did a whole new rework on these things. But
that almost looks like the blade now, doesn't it? In kind of
yeah, exactly. And then here's another one for you. I'm curious to see. This was the boarding ship. So this is this one was the idea of this one, I believe, is like it bores into the side of ships and then you kind of board the ship, from what I understand.
It looks like those things that fly around in Half-Life 2 but reversed.
Well, that's the back of it. That's the engine. Yeah, that's the back.
Right. So yeah,
and these are the fronts, and it's got a big round section, and it like bores straight into the side of the ship, locks on, and I believe the idea is that you could kind of like enter, blow up the skin. I don't know. That was the talk of it.
I hope that they have some sort of animation, but it looks like a drill slowly boring into the ship, because that'd be really intimidating to see from like a window or something.
And so they always
you just see the drill bit.
No. And this was the king. This is the king ship, I believe. So this is this is the king ship carrier. So this gives you an idea of the original size. I wouldn't be, if they were talking about some astronomical size of this ship. This ship is going to be humongous, and it's even going to be. I mean, this was then, and then it's just going to be even bigger by now as well. If you think about all this, this is the Bengal, I believe. Is that right? This is the Bengal carrier here, and this is the king ship next to it. So again, this is
2 are working on it. It's probably going to be double in size. So
yeah. So if you think. But this is what, when I saw this, and I was like, this is when I was like, okay, look at the styling of this one, and I think, with the kind of the bone structure and the way that they've kind of gone with the skull thing, and then they're gonna have this will change a lot, because if we saw the driller, because this is like an old styling, and so it feels more like the kind of stuff you were talking about, like kind of it's gonna fall apart. So I'm expecting them to. Again, it'd be a bit more polished, a bit more black, a bit more with the red glowing kind of thing going on. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Like the ships, it's like all the other ones that they've been doing. That before they started off with the Vanduul ships, they just kind of made one, then went on to the next one and mocked it up. Whereas now they've been going through the process of having certain assets, so it's definitely a Misk ship, or it's definitely an Anvil ship. And you get, like on the Anvil, the circle bit that's always the same and things like that. So I think they're going to do, obviously, the same with the Vanduul. They're going back and re-looking at them and making sure that they all follow a very similar design pattern. So they'll pull from the same sort of designs and graphics, and then use those onto each of the ships, so that you can go, oh, it's Vanduul, just by looking at it very quickly. So I think that's where you're getting probably some of these changes from.
So exciting.
I hope to see more. I've never been that interested in Vanduul ships before, but I'm actually kind of interested now, because they look awesome.
Yeah, for me, I've always preferred the alien-looking ships to the normal stuff. So this sort of thing I like the most out of these. Although I don't own any yet, because
you own the Defender. You've got the Defender, right?
We've got it on buyback, which I will be getting. Yeah, I will be swapping to that, I think.
Yeah, I would love to have a glaive, but having flown one with all the bugs that were in the original glaive, it was like, and it's $300. It was $300.
Improve them things. Like you go back and it'll be more usable when it's actually ready.
Yeah. I'm at the stage where I just want ships that are going to make me enough money, that are going to make me competitive in certain tasks that I'm going to do. Such as I want to have a cargo ship, a piratey type of ship, a combat ship that's going to do a good job in combat, and then just have like a chill ship that I can just chill out in, and just like, which is probably going to be my Carrack, and just have people on board and multi-crew and just do all that sort of stuff. And then after that, it's just building ships within the game. That for me is the enjoyment. I'm not a completionist. I don't want to have all the ships beforehand. I want to earn all the ships in game. I want to enjoy the game for what it was originally intended, in my opinion, is to earn the ships in game. Not against anyone that wants to be a completionist.
Just give me my reclaimer, and then I can play with everybody. Oh, my friend's a pirate, that's fine. I can follow behind him and just chew everything. Oh, my friend's a bounty hunter, I can just follow behind him and chew everything. Oh, my friend's a doctor, they found they rescued somebody off a ship, I can eat the ship. It's the perfect ship. What do you want?
Do you know what's interesting? You talk about the reclaimer. I was at Bar Citizen on Sunday, so if anyone in London that's never been to Bar Citizen, you should definitely check it out. I'll dig out a link somewhere. I need to dig out a link for it, but yeah, definitely come along. It's in near Waterloo in London. We were discussing the reclaimer, and someone was saying that they were giving to an organization. They were talking about another big topic about in terms of organizations and how they're going to work with Spectrum, but it came to the topic of the reclaimer, and someone was gave to an org 3 reclaimers. And I was thinking about it, thinking, well, that probably makes sense. If you are a pirate org, or you're kind of in a situation where, time is money, you're going to want to have multiple ships. You're not going to just want to have one probably reclaimer. You're probably going to want to have a couple reclaimers, because if one of the reclaimers is on one location or needs to be claimed, it's going to take, it already takes a couple minutes for some ships. It could take, hours and hours for that type of a ship, or even a day or so. So you're going to want to have a couple just to be able to spawn. So I don't think the days of having just one ship in your hangar, you're going to have lots of duplicates. And I'm looking forward to naming every one of them.
Yeah, it's quite interesting actually. It's like, as any sort of organization, it's like running a company in real life. You need to try and make money from as many avenues as possible. So if I was running a pirate org, not only would I be looking for reclaimers, I'd be looking for cutlass reds, so after you beat the shit out of them, you can send your doctors out to then charge them further money. It's got to make money everywhere.
You'd be like, hang on a minute, this guy looks awfully similar to the guy that just shot us. So, just suddenly just happened to be in the area, an ambulance just literally...
just change his hat and he's just like, hello, I heard you need an insurance broker. I'm here.
Honestly, it'd be like Superman.
3 weeks.
In a little wheel, you just spin around and then come out in a completely different uniform.
It's me, my Noodle.
Damn, I forgot I'm supposed to change my name every time.
Well, I've seen you in the hat, Moist. I've seen you in your little suit.
I've got 2 caps now. I'm going to buy like multiples for every role that I play in the game.
Fantastic. Right.
It's going to be one of those like pirates with the pirate hat on, just in case you didn't realise.
I need a pirate hat
in-game
now.
comms and you just got your pirate hat.
Oh my God.
I'm not a pirate, it's safe for you to cross.
It's a good point, though. It's like I didn't think about it, but actually that makes a lot of sense. Like, to have... you could really wrap up. You could literally send in waves, different types. You'd have your salvage wave going in, and then as the salvage wave's going in, then you could have your medical wave go in just to kind of heal up and charge everyone. That's makes a lot of sense. Right. The next thing on,
we're going to charge you the pleasure of healing you after.
Yeah, it's just like an absolute slap in the face.
That's what we call intuitive pirating.
It's good pirating, in my opinion. The best pirating. Right, I'm just going to move this over here because I was in a rush and I didn't.
And then you got the taxi service for those that haven't got a ship left at the end as well.
Exactly. That's true. You know what? We're going to make so much money.
You are going to
be awesome. We're going to
bank. Bank. That is a good idea. The Uber service comes in, flies in to pick everyone up and say, "Oh, you need a lift?
I hear you got your ship blown up. Well, don't worry, we're here to give you a lift."
Before you know it, the UEE Navy will be renting Bengals from us.
Right. Let's talk about the wonderful, and I'm going to bring it up here because they talked about it on the monthly update. It is the Hammerhead.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I've spoken to every time I ask people, did you buy this ship? I always follow it up with, you're banking on turrets working well then.
I don't care. I've got such an awkward boner right now. I don't care if the turrets work well. Like, it just looks amazing. It looks so sexy. And all I want this ship for is to ram it into the rear of other people. It's just...
To me, it looks like a flip-flop.
Thanks for the...
Just put a thong there. I could probably design it. I could do it in seconds.
Someone steps on it.
Hang on. I could probably draw the thong section there, easy, and then it's a flip-flop, and then, easy. I could probably do that, no problem. The Hammerhead.
I think we should do that for next time so we can just show people the flip-flop.
The flip-flop version of the Hammerhead. I genuinely think you are banking on turrets too much.
Kitty or whatever the fucking thing's got Space Kitty's skin on it. It would definitely look like a flip-flop.
My Hammerhead is going to be pink. It has to be.
This is cool, though.
Yes.
I've got to say, that was pretty cool. When I saw it like that, I was like...
Look at the size of the landing gear, though.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, either that or it's just like a really small model. Like a teeny-weeny one. Yeah. With huge legs.
Or I'd reclaim the landing gear on it to make it look...
It's not real. There's no sense of scale there. Like, there's no one standing next to it. That could be teeny weeny. Like, you need to, it could be huge. They need it. You need a scale check.
The ship, man.
Something that I think was really interesting they mentioned in the report is that for the release video, they didn't actually have the exterior finished.
Yeah.
So there were parts missing. But if you watch the video, it kind of looks like you see the whole of the ship. So I wonder, what was missing.
You'd have no IG. What did you not put on there?
What, in the middle?
Oh,
about the
yeah, there is
hole?
that bloody great hole in the middle.
Is that what you're talking about? Oh, well, that they've already explained that. That's to make it lighter,
Yeah, no, it's
faster,
in
more nimble.
In the report, they I'm paraphrasing now, but they said for the release video, the exterior of the ship wasn't completed, and there were literal holes in the ship.
Oh,
so that's what they finished since.
They've done a lot though. They've done a lot on this ship. They really
like where the turrets join on, or you know what I mean, like where bits where they said it weren't finished. It could be anything like that, where they've put modular bits together and it's left holes in between it because they haven't really fixed it. So
I'm really curious how long it took them to build the hammerhead.
Someone's asking a question on where the bridge is. I think the bridge is there.
underneath, isn't it?
No, it's underneath.
Is it underneath?
Yeah,
Hang on.
at the very front underneath.
Let's bring the other picture up.
Because there's a picture of 2 space priests in the cockpit, and that's one of the pictures that made me really want it, because I just love the idea as some kinky role play dressing up as a priest in my hammerhead, ramming people from the rear.
That's like
there it is.
Like
That is it there.
mandatory that you have to dress as a priest when you're flying the hammerhead. Would you want to flip the ship though and fly it the other way?
Oh yeah,
around?
no, that is the cockpit there.
I just know that there's a good blind spot then, right there at the front. Oh no, there's somebody here. Somebody can see me. Damn them. Damn that person. So take that person out there, and then nobody could potentially see me sneak in over the top, and then you could land your prowler on the top and then board. Because the bridge is down
Theoretically,
here.
they could take you from the rear though. Unless the
They could
turret's
try.
looking backwards.
Many a person has tried to take me from the rear and has failed. It has happened, but they have failed miserably.
I do like the idea of the ship, though. I'm glad that they left that hole in the middle, because I like the idea that it is a short-range escort. Otherwise it's just another Polaris.
It's also nice to have things like that that are just a bit
They
different.
recycled a
Like,
lot
why does it have to conform to everything?
Yeah.
Like, why have that gap in the middle? Well, because we want it with a gap in the middle.
I love that they said that was just the reason they didn't, because they wanted it there.
Yeah. Surely that is a good enough answer, isn't it? Like, surely, I don't know if I'm designing this ship, especially why I like the alien ones a little bit more, because they get away with that a little bit. It's like, well, it looks cool, so I'm having it that way.
Yeah. Which was the Vanduul ship that has no... it's the one with the arms, wasn't it? Or something. I can't remember which ship it was now. And there was a load of drama because everyone was complaining that you wouldn't be able to see.
Oh, you mean the Defender?
That was
the Power Defender. That was the thing, and then they showed the
back,
view.
and then it's got these
That's it, yeah.
arms in front, but then that's only concept, so they'll probably... As soon as they design that and say this looks shit.
Theoretically, they could, because obviously they can design the tech that you could just see through the arms. So why didn't the Vanduul have tech that allows you to see through the physical ship itself if you're in the cockpit? It kind of creates a CGI image in front so you can see through, or whatever. Well,
it's a good thing, because if I was building a ship, if I'm being honest, if I wanted to have the best possible camera and view, I would base it very much on a fly's eye, in the sense you have lots of cameras all over the ship and stuff, and then you could then create a massive kind of lots of tiny cameras everywhere, and then you get then it builds a picture of what's in your surrounding vicinity, and then it can instantaneously, it's like a sonar kind of radar, and it would give you a perfect screen, and it'd be pretty cool. You could do that sort of thing.
So essentially
quite
just
weird
have a VR representation of what's around your ship.
Yeah, but how a fly can slow shit down, it sees things really slowly, so it gives you the advantage to be able to maneuver out of the way of stuff. It would be kind of weird, but
you just need lots of cans of Relentless for that, my friend.
A little bit deep on the design thinking, but yeah, it would be kind of cool. I'm gonna, as we're talking about views, the 600i bridge. What a wonderful bridge that is! I have to say, that is lovely. Now.
After a lot of moaning and groaning.
Yes.
But then that is, as I think someone was saying earlier, I read something on earlier, someone's comment on Facebook or something, is that's one of the good things about being part of this development. We can look at it and go, what the fuck were you thinking? Change it. And then they go back and go, do you know what? The people are right. Let's get rid of it. And that is cool.
They do listen.
That they changed it because one or multiple of their own developers or artists said, I don't like this idea. And then when the community also said the same thing, they went, oh, actually, maybe we should get rid of the struts.
But this does still go to the path of why aren't all the ships doing that? Like, why? You know, I feel like I don't know. We're still
In real life, I know this is just a computer game, but in real life, curved glass is really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So it's probably a case of, Drake doesn't do that sort of thing because it's too expensive. RSI doesn't do it because they're trying to save money, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
I'm with you on this one. Like, if I was a freelancer owner, I'd be like, why can't I have a cockpit that looks like that? Why do I have to have a view?
Freelancer, though, really, when you've got the Reliant that's got a completely clear cockpit.
I really see the MISC ships. It's really polarizing because I know loads of people that absolutely hate it, but like there are quite a few people, including myself, that love the view out of the MISC ships because it genuinely feels like you're flying a jumbo jet. If you play any sort of simulator or you go into an actual 747 or A380 cockpit, the view is very, very narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like I'm looking at the world through the eyes of one of those stormtroopers, the ones that go on the bikes in Return of the Jedi. It's kind of that's his professional view.
But I do like the idea that they got with the honk though, with the whole you can have the screen up to have the full view, and then you can put the armored shutters down. That would be kind of nice on some of the ships. So if you wanted to be more protected, you could bring the armor screen down so that it was actually more protected. And then there's a bigger view normally.
Terrapin has it.
Is that they were going to do it at Terrapin?
Terrapin has a little bit. It kind of cunkers in on itself and closes in and gets to protect itself and kind of and the Carrack's cockpit shuts all the armor comes into the front and protects the whole front, which I'm very excited to see the finished animations and all that stuff on the Carrack very soon. So, but just going back quickly to to this. So they've recycled. What's great about this is just shows that, at the end of the day, this is all part of the same family, and then they recycle a huge amount of the assets that they've built to make this. So that's probably one of the reasons why they're able to make it a bit quicker, is because, like they said, it's big, long corridors, straight corridors. We can slap in assets from the Javelin, the Polaris. We've already built these huge ships with all these assets now. We could just put it in here, turn it to the left, turn it to the right, and it looks a bit different. But the truth is, I'm not being funny, but you're not really going to probably remember too much. I mean, some people are nerd out and will know, but literally the average gamer will walk down there and will not go, oh, look, that's the fire extinguisher from the Javelin. That bulkhead is from the Polaris.
But that's
you might do.
With the assets of the Vanduul, though, because that's what I'm saying. They build that asset. That's what they're doing for all the companies. They're building the main ship with the main assets, and then they'll use them in the different ships. And it's not a case of saying, oh, that fire extinguisher is in another ship, because you get that anyway. And you get that with car development and everything else. You don't say, oh, I've used this in this car, I'm not going to use it in the different car.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That is their style, so it's the same with ships.
Actually, I'll have I'm really interested in fire extinguishers. Amarex and Chubb are my favourite. Thanks.
I do. When I did visual effects course, I did actually model a fire extinguisher and do a rendering and stuff and put it into a scene and stuff. I'll bring up the picture sometime. It looks.
But
see if you can tell.
Theoretically, I don't think there's much harm in sharing assets, because at the end of the day, there are all these different brands in the universe, and using fire extinguishers as an example, you're going to have a brand of fire extinguisher that's shared across multiple companies.
It's as Sherman's just said that it's more a case of it belongs to the manufacturer rather than the ship. So the asset that you're seeing, it's not this is a freelancer thruster or whatever. It's a MISC thruster.
Yeah. Do you think we'll be able to jury rig, or potentially, we're talking about thrusters here, so say, for example, do you think if it's I mean, I know they probably won't be able to right now because it's still going to be all based on size ports, so size 3s.
One on, then no.
Nah, damn it, fuck it. No, it's not the wrong game. Right, moving on.
It's a bit like Mod Racer. That would be amazing, though.
No. It would be cool.
I just found this Javelin engine and I have a freelancer.
It just would be so much fun. Maybe if they give it to the modding community just for a laugh, just for a couple hours and say, okay, guys, just go crazy.
Aurora.
Just go crazy.
I don't know have either of you two played EVE Online?
Yes.
Back in the very early days of EVE Online, you could take huge guns and put them on very, very small ships. And it just basically looked like floating weapon platforms. It was amazing.
I love the idea of it. I just imagine, I would love to see sometimes CIG if you could just show us some of the, because I've seen it before where you've shown us like the guns, and then you've shown like you put 4 guns or like 7 or 8 guns onto something. I'd love to see the kind of like the weird concoctions that you guys have made just for a laugh. Do you know what I mean? When you've been bored in the office, I'd love to see like, you know, like the I don't know, the Herald, like 3 or 4 Herald engines on like a Dragonfly or something. That would be hilarious. Or on the Nox, just because the Nox isn't unstable enough. We need to stick 2 Herald engines on it.
Dragonfly and just do
not enough power. Right.
We did a bit of Dragonfly racing, didn't we? And the last thing you do is just get a clock that's in front of you after about 2 seconds. So sticking a Herald engine on it's probably not going to work too well.
It was so much. It was fun once we got it working, but it was like, it's the same old thing. It's like, I was watching Hoplite. I was trying to get Hoplite to get to the Javelin. We got to the vicinity, but we still couldn't find it. And then we'd spent so long trying to find it in the daytime. We spent pretty much the entire day. By the time, then there was suddenly like the pressure because you could see the shadows were getting longer. The night was arriving and he was like running out of time and he was desperately trying to find this Javelin as nighttime was approaching. And it was like the same thing for us. It's like you spend all this time trying to get the bikes to work and everything was working well. And then all of a sudden nighttime arrived and then Miz was like all the way over there or I couldn't find you. And,
we were racing and my controller just went all over the place and you said, I'll wait for you and just see this awesome drive by. I said, okay, I'm on my way. And the next thing you know, I'm over this way. Then my bike flips upside down. Then I'm like almost going out into space. And you go, where the fuck are you? It's only like 2 seconds away.
I know. I just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Watching the sunset. It was great.
Buzzed past you and then crashed. It was like, fuck you.
I've not actually been to the Javelin yet, mainly because whenever I aim to go somewhere, by the time I get there, it's always in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like living in Wales, really.
It does seem to be in the dark.
You know, when I go to work in the morning, I go up a hill, and when I'm coming home, somehow I'm still going up a hill. So I've just given up. I've just given up now. I just go to random places and hope that it's in the light.
I know. That's the same. I'm actually, do you know what? Talking about that, it does raise the question. I don't know if I didn't. Did they answer the question? I don't think they probably did on the Reverse of Us. Did they answer the question about? Did he answer the question about night vision? Because it was one of the questions, but I don't think they asked that. He talked about combat, Aaron, and he answered that question. But there was another question further down. I think people were asking, we're curious. A lot of people, one of the big questions is lights. People want to know what the deal is on lights, but I don't remember. I've been downloading information. Did he answer
My personal opinion is that lights aren't the problem. If you actually pay attention to like footage from helicopters and planes and whatnot, the actual brightness of lights is very, very similar. The issue that many people are having is, one, the speed of your ship. You know, your lights will only travel so far, and 2, that we don't have any bitching Betties or whatever she's called warning you that you're about to smash
Bitching
into a moon. You know.
Yeah, no, there's, I mean, do you know what? There's a few things that would kind of like help. Obviously, it's like a bit more of a hologram kind of like radar system, which would indicate where the land is as you're approaching it. You know, like there's the land, and then you instantly, you know, big warning lights as you can see it. It gives you much more of a visual representation, so you can actually go, oh fuck, I'm really close. You know, and they, it would be interesting. Yeah, I mean, maybe they could do like an automatic. At the end of the day, I mean, we're getting cars which can automatically shut down if they think you're coming in way too hot to a planet, for example. Do you know what I mean? If you're in a car, for example, you know, we now have automatic brakes that can judge the distance between you and the car in front. I will automatically hit the brakes on, even if you haven't hit the brakes on. It would make sense in my head that you could have that as an on and off switch. You can switch it off if you want to be manual, but you can switch it on if you want it to be extra protection. A bit like auto landing. You can land manual and you can land automatic. It's that kind of safety feature.
Experience playing War Thunder. War Thunder has a mode. I forget what it's called now, but it's basically like your flight. I think it's called flight instructor. So if you're shit at playing the game, then it tries to like auto level you and stop you from crashing and stuff. And it's kind of like a similar thing, but it's really frustrating because it stops you from being able to do specific maneuvers sometimes. So as long as people are aware that it's there and that it's something to be turned off, and it's probably one of those things that should be dependent on the manufacturer. You know,
Drake doesn't have one, for example, because Drake is just cheap with chips. Whereas Misk freelancing kind of cargo thing, it's like all about safety. It's a bit like the Volvos of the kind of the world. You know, it's all about safety and protection and getting you there comfortably and safely, so nothing kind of breaks and stuff. So, yeah, that would be. Yeah, definitely. That would be a good shout. But I wouldn't want it to be too controlling. Just stop. Just put it just slows you down so you don't smash headlong into a planet. It's just like a safety feature for yourself.
Just a little voice. It slows you down a little bit, and then you get this voice saying, "You're about to die, Dave.
You're about to death imminent. Death imminent." Or different levels of voice. That would be so cool. Like getting more and more stressful. Like where you can feel the real stress levels of the computer AI is about to die.
Slow the fuck down, Dave.
Slow down, Dave. It ejects you out of the ship because it's just like, this guy's an idiot.
Not if you're Drake.
Oh god, if you're Drake, it's tough shit. You're dying.
You're screwed, friend.
This is the F8. Now we've seen a few leaked images of this. I was surprised that they kept with the same styling of it, but hey ho, they've obviously, this is the look that they want for the F8. I don't believe we're going to get this in game other than in Squadron 42, but they do change their minds. So I think it could be open still to being purchased. I'm not sure. But
is it just me, or does it kind of look like an Idris has landed on it and squashed, like a terrapin, landed on a terrapin and squashed it, kind of flat?
I don't get these. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's for scooping up poop or something. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's meant to be stealthy or something. It's like the stealth. I genuinely, I need to read up on it more, but I don't. Liz is on mute. I don't think so.
No, it's me.
I hope he's not.
Myself.
Okay.
I mute myself.
Okay, cool. But I just, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a huge fan yet, but I'm a fan of the statistics. I believe this is a pretty nifty ship. This is like,
it kind of looks
awesome.
like a ship that you'd see in the Homeworld series.
Yeah, I was expecting more. Hang on, I'm just going to dig up this one. Hang on, let's bring it up.
Oh, are you going to leak? Are you going to spoil the game again for me, Madness?
No. No.
And this is the full episode of Squadron.
This is the full story. No, where is it? Oh, hang on. To pull up a picture of it quickly.
Even though it might not be a ship that you can fly, I think Crimis makes a good point in chat. You'll have to try and steal one if you want one, or salvage one. That's one of the things I really like the idea of. Even if you can't buy it, you can still steal it.
Okay, here we go.
Would you be able to? Yeah.
The Hawk.
It'd be nice if you could take it from Squadron 42.
This is the first time I've actually
as your retirement present.
Bringing them next to each other. See what I mean. Again, this is, there's no texturing, there's nothing on this. It's very hard for me to really truly judge it. I'm just judging the overall shapes rather than the actual texturing and stuff. And obviously, this is the Hawk. Now, the Hawk is kind of like the new boy on the kids, like a brand new, kind of feels like a new kind of anvil ship. And then this little bad boy is another anvil ship because obviously it's got the signature circle. But yeah,
you just see the Hornet wings as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
I see what you mean. That bit for that scoop at the front is a bit.
I just don't.
But that's an old one that you're showing on the left, though, isn't it?
This is brand new. This is what we've seen from the
on the right,
monthly report.
What the layer one that says layer setup.
Yeah. So this is all that the layer. Yeah, this is the brand new. This is from the.
Sorry, I was just trying to.
Yeah,
I was looking.
It's okay.
To be somewhere else. Yeah. Sorry, I missed.
It's okay. No, but this is the F8. So this is like the pinnacle of their brand new fights. This is like the best fighter that Anvil kind of have and stuff. And it was just, it's the exciting. It's rare. It's super rare. It's something we've all been excited about. I'm just curious about the styling. That was all. I was just very curious about what the number 5 is. So I'm going to read up on it more, and I'll come back to you guys probably for next week. I don't want to.
Once we have textures, it will look probably very different.
Sure.
That will give you more sort of depth.
See those ramps on the side, but it kind of a bit like we were just talking about with the Defender, and then why is that in front? That's what they look like. They kind of do. It's like, well, why you just stuck them there, and now the cockpit hasn't. I mean, it obviously adds extra protection because if you're getting shot from the side, they would hit that rather than your cockpit. But again, it then influences your view from that. But maybe they don't care.
That's a good point, actually. You're not going to be able to look left or right.
No. But they're slopey, so that maybe you can still look partially left and right, just not completely. I suppose it's a difficult balance. I suppose unless they're going to go for some form of cockpit that's ultra durable, like it's a balance between the visibility and then having protection on it. I suppose.
I don't know. I mean, I'll find out more.
The cockpit, to be honest, have they?
Yeah, I was just an overall comment. It was just I've seen this before. This styling was around a long time ago, and I was genuinely expecting to see a bit of a move away, having seen the Hawk. So I was surprised that it still maintained much of the styling that we saw from leaks and snippets and stuff. So just surprised, that's all, because it's a newer ship like the Hawk. So I was expecting them to have flingy bits flying off it and that kind of styling going on and stuff. But the more narrower, I was expecting to have a much more narrower cockpit. Whereas this is kind of like a bit of a stubby little cockpit going on here. This is much more of a sleek,
it's
longer.
They do try to keep the design, especially things like the cockpit, very similar.
Yeah.
On that picture, the coloured picture, each of the parts has numbers. I'm trying to work out what the numbers represent. I'm wondering if those are like breakaway pieces or something like that.
Like Lego. It probably could well be.
I don't know. Maybe Sherman knows.
It's like the main sort of bulk of the ship.
Yeah.
And then you've got the green at the tips of the wing, and then it must be breakaway bits. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. Right, I'm going to quickly go back to this one whilst we load up the next set of conversation pieces.
Oh,
so feel free to ask us.
You're missing?
Don't worry.
You're
not. Don't worry.
No, it's okay, miserable. We're still together. Oh,
don't worry.
You're just gonna find that rock, hasn't he?
Don't worry. I'm having.
We're gonna have to send Madness back to school.
No, it's just I need another monitor. I need a third monitor. This whole 2-monitor shit is just doing my head in. Right, next topic is next ship. What's the next ship? What was another ship? Oh, actually, no, it's the hangars. Let's talk about ships. We've got to put them in. We've got to put them in ships. So we've seen how they do the hangars, and so we're now going to have like this kind of like looks like it's going to be like a hangar bay where you have multiple kind of like hangar ports and stuff. And what was it says on here? What did I make a note? I made a note on this. New hangar, shared hangars, as they've titled it.
Yeah, so I thought I'd read somewhere someone said something about it being shared hangars. Which I wonder what that.
That's what I was curious.
So multiple people in an instance, I'm assuming.
Does it mean does it mean having multiple people in your hangar, or does it mean multiple people sharing one hangar? As in, like, you can have your ship or like like an org hangar type thing.
Well, if you look at that picture there, that main picture, and in my head, I'm thinking maybe that big area there is like a main lobby area, and then those smaller doors could go off into individual hangars. Or something like that.
Could be.
I mean, that's what it looks like it to me. Do you know what I mean? It looks like that would be, with people walking away, and there's your.
Cool.
It looks like it's like that.
Would that be your hangar that they're coming? Like, would you all spawn one ship from that hangar, or?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I think those individual doors, like to the left and to the right, are your own individual hangars.
Right.
But then that area there is a joint lobby. So, for lack of a better term, so you can come out of your own personal hangar into that lobby area, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Wait and see, I guess, to get more clarity on it. But
lobby, it's not a social lobby, is it? Because that is a hangar pad in the middle.
Yeah, that's a hangar pad in the middle, and they're connected. It looks like either they're connected hangars to the main hangars.
It's where you're going to get some fuel. Maybe it's going to be like a shared fuel bit.
Oh, that would be sick. That would be really cool. That'd be so cool to see. Like, I'd love to see them like come and collect your ship and like lift it up and like repair it. Like, that would be a good career opportunity. Wouldn't it be a mechanic on spaceships?
There's going to be so much drama in the future. Like, what happens when you have an asshole neighbor?
Make lots of noise, drinking, partying next to, or like would be crazy. Like, he's like having parties at like crazy o'clock times, and you'd be like, I'm just trying to like do some quiet work on my ship. Shut the fuck up.
you end up with the Rastafarians who always just have a little smoke out by the front doors of the garages.
Billowing out. Yeah, they'd be the best though. We'd have the best.
Did I have to share a hangar with you? He's always leaving on the pad as well.
You never do your share of the cleaning.
Actually, that's a good in chat. Who would be if you had to share a hangar with anybody? Who would you share a hangar with?
Captain Richard. Awkward bonus all round. Absolutely.
Awkward bonus.
It would smell from his parts.
Who would you?
Actually.
It would smell pretty bad. Yeah, we'll let Chet go crazy on that one. I'll be curious. Mr. Squarepeg.
I think, it does look like a small landing pad, but I think so. Someone asked in chat as well about, do you think it's going to be instance like a separate level, or do you think it's going to be persistence with the PU? I think they said that when people said about the hangars being shrunk, and will we get them back to being the bigger size again like we used to have? I remember Brian Chambers said that we don't go backwards. So they're not going to go back to the old design. So they're just going to redesign something new. So this could be a step towards redesigning these new hangars. Maybe they're all going to be more shared than we've got. But obviously, I think they want them to be persistent with the PU. But we may well get them as instance first of all, to get the multi-hanger thing working first of all. The same as the way we got it kind of now. You log into it and it's separate to the PU.
I really like the idea of seeing these in big buildings, a bit like the Tyrell Corporation building from Blade Runner, just this huge monumental thing that is just one building filled with hangars. Can you imagine like a planet coming or a city coming under attack or something like that, and just seeing like a huge building full of hangars and all the players just streaming out of the build. I like that. It'd be so freaking cool. And I like the idea of having neighbors. And it was one of the things that I thought when we saw ArtCorp for the first time. I love the idea of, when they flew past the guy shouting, "Hello, CitizenCon." I love the idea of having these randomly generated buildings, but being able to buy apartments in them and having lots of people with apartments, and it adds a new dynamic to the game where you do actually kind of have to be considerate or an arsehole to the people around you, which I think is awesome, because that in itself will generate content.
Yeah. That would be cool. And I think
it depends on the audio, because they've shown the audio. Sorry, Miss. They have shown us the audio that the further away the audio goes, it does dull down, and the closer you are to the audio, it is louder. So yeah, in theory, you could actually be a really noisy neighbour.
Do you remember the old demo that they did? It must have been a year or 2 years ago, where I think it was a voice over IP demo where they were walking down a hallway or something like that. In fact, I don't think it was SIG tech. I think it was other tech that they were looking at implementing into Star Citizen. I remember getting really excited about that, just hearing like echoes coming from down a hall.
Right. You don't mean the FOIP stuff that they were doing recently? Because he was in the bar, and basically we tested it even at CitizenCon. So as you stepped backwards and walked away, you literally sounded like you were further away. So when you went to the other end of the room, you could hear it. And if you talk quietly, you couldn't hear it. But if they shouted down the microphone, you could hear it.
I can't wait for that.
It was so cool. It was really good to experience that. Actually.
Honestly, I'm just going to go to work every morning, leave the game running, point my microphone towards my speakers and turn it up, and then fuck everyone else. You're listening to Radio 4 today, everybody.
Oh, wow.
Today, the Weather Channel.
Mine would be the Classic FM channel, just to kind of like, people would be like, who's that? Doesn't make sense. What's going on? Just to really kind of confuse people. I
think Asnog's if you share one with me, that's what you'll get, a note every time you wake up in the morning, this post-it note stuck to your forehead that says, "Yeah, I had a little problem landing my ship, so I borrowed one of yours."
I've seen some of the people's parking some of their dragonflies like upside down and stuff. That would be, you'd wake up with a dragonfly probably like just hovering above your bed.
Yeah, just ships and like land them upside down.
You come back and your temporal cyclone has no wheels.
Yeah, exactly. Or just on bricks, just bricks with a little IOU. I ran out of wheels. I need to borrow your wheels. Oh, the shenanigans. Oh,
I need to borrow your wheels. No, literally, I borrowed your wheels.
I will bring them back, I promise. But that does actually, do you know what? That's the thing at the moment is like the inability to transfer like funds, the inability to be able to kind of like share commodity and things between players is kind of one of those frustrating things that I'm sure they'll get to as we get the iteration of cargo and economy and stuff in the next tier. You know what I mean? I imagine at the moment, this is the thing, I was curious. I'm guessing the idea is to get tier 0 to tier 1 of most of the mechanics in this year, and then maybe next year to obviously expand the system, and then to go up to, will they... How do I do this? Will they be upgrading the tier systems on the existing mechanics at the same time, or will they be just aiming to get tier 0, 1 of everything, and then they'll bring in a bigger system, and then they'll go to tier 2 of everything? What do you guys think?
Can you explain the tiering system to me? Because I'm not overly sure. Like, do they have is it like a priority list, essentially? I
think kind of what they mean. So if you look at it in terms of like mining, I think like a tier 0 system would be the very basic of mining. So rather than it being complicated and you being able to break the rock up and, and do all their mini games and everything they talked about, it might be just a case of you put a laser beam on it and it sucks up resources, and there you go, you started mining.
Oh, I understand. So tier 0 being the most basic of all the mechanics. So a bit like Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous is generally tier 0. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. Like you literally exactly as Miz said, it's basically the beginning of anything really, really basic, but it enables you to play.
Like salvaging or repair, it'll be the beginning, as in you might be able to get a ship and claim it as kind of like we got now. If you say like trading, at the moment we can buy a box and sell it. We can't get too detailed in what we actually do with the trading. Whereas before you might be able. So at the moment we can just get it from a mission and then sell it to another station, whereas say a tier 1 maybe that you can unload your ship and load your ship instead of it just instantly appearing inside the ship.
I watched there was a video that came out today, Ask the Devs. What was it called?
Call the Devs,
yeah.
It's called.
Did you guys watch that out of interest?
I've seen the first 3 questions on there.
So one of the devs, his answer was essentially, this is the first iteration of X, whatever they were talking about. So I think the way they will do it is that they will implement the absolute basics of a mechanic, and they will iterate on it. I don't think they will kind of put in mining, then put in salvaging, etc., and then tier it up. I think they'll have, correct me if I'm wrong, I reckon they'll have specific devs working on specific mechanics. And that will be their thing,
Yeah, it's hard to know on that one. I presumed, I wouldn't think that they would just work on one, then move to the next one. But I mean, it all depends on the mechanic as well. Like, so some may take more resources than another, but it's the same way they said that when they're working on 3.0, that doesn't mean that that's all the devs are working on is 3.0. You've got other devs working on Squadron 42, other devs working on, people were probably still working on mining, even though they were trying to get 3.0 out the window. So it's, with a big dev team like that, you're probably going to get people working on everything, I think.
Yeah,
so which makes sense. Well,
which makes sense.
It's about prioritizing, and one of the things I noticed with the PTU is that we were getting a lot of features being added very quickly, and with those features being added very quickly, when those features were added, we were getting a lot of bugs. So every time you implement a new feature or you upgrade a feature, then you're going to get more bugs. So, they could be prioritizing certain things. I'm very nervous saying this because Matt Sherman's in chat. They could prioritize things knowing, or at least stop working on something. I'll pause a specific development for a feature just to kind of prevent bugs, if that makes sense. I don't really know, but maybe a developer's time is better suited to another task that they know they can just smash out a bit quicker.
Yeah, I agree. I think also the one that you was on about, they was talking about the inner thought system. And so what they're saying is this is the first implementation of the inner thought system. And this is actually one of the things I moaned at, not in terms of that I didn't think that they would change it or update it, but it was a case of, they say that they know that the inner thought system works really well for interacting with stuff within the planet. So if you've got buttons, you can look at the button, you're going to press it. But they said it doesn't work so well for things that don't necessarily have a place. So we're saying things like exit your ship. There's no actual spot on your ship that you look at to tell it to exit, or holster your weapon. You don't look at, when you want to holster your weapon, you don't look at your holster and then put it in. So they're saying that was the first iteration, just so that you could do those things. The next thing they're going to be, as he said he was working on at the moment, was a radial thing. So for those sort of actions, you'll be able to just press your inner thought and then go around the radial menu and pick exit ship.
That'll be a lot easier.
It would be, because I might wonder and also the exit ships are like in different positions in different ships. I'm like, oh, what the fuck do I get back in this ship again? It's like, oh.
But for some of the things though, they don't need the inner thought to be there, just because it's intuitive. Like when you have a button, then the button literally says press. You know, you don't really need floating text in front of that. So I'll be interested to see whether they remove text for stuff that's generally quite intuitive anyway.
Well, I mean, just going back to just quickly to the tier thing, because I just wanted to kind of like talk about the potential for imbalance in tier system if you don't introduce a degree of, you know, 0 tiers for certain things that are obviously important. I'd be curious to know what the kind of like the pipeline and the kind of importance, if there's any kind of like, you know, we talk about blockers and points, you know, are there any key? I mean, obviously we've got the in September, what was it called? Oh my God, what's it called again? I've forgotten the name of it now. It's completely slipped my mind. It's really important for us to expand into the bigger Stanton system.
Server mesh thing, you mean?
Yeah. Whatever the name for it was, object container. That's it. The object container stuff. That stuff basically is obviously important. And I'm curious, like with the tier 0 kind of mechanics, if there are particular ones that they kind of like, okay, we know we do need to have mining in before we get to tier 3 of cargo running, for example. You know, if could you imagine if you get to like tier 5 of cargo running and you're still only got tier 0 of farming, and then how would that balance? Would there be a risk then? Oh shit, that's just thrown everything we've done on. You know, I'm just thinking there must be a point when you have to say, okay, we need to get to kind of maybe the same levels on a few of them. If we go too far in one area, it could really, if something changes here, it could fuck everything up at tier 5. This is exactly
why I get so irate at people who just make development sound like it's black or white, because it really isn't. It's so freaking complicated. There's so many different things that can cause issues. Like, for example, you could have one particular dev who concentrates all their time on a particular mechanic, and then they suddenly get hit by a bus, and you know that just throws that entire mechanic under the bus.
Wow.
You know, so it's
like what they're doing. Don't use buses. We're not recommending it.
Yeah, no buses, no public transport for any of the CIG team. No
making of this podcast.
Individual CIG members must always travel with armed bodyguards and living
taxis
bubbles.
Those air bubbles.
Air bubbles. Yeah, they just slowly, and they all must get. Yeah, we're going to put them all on exercise, health regimes. We're going to pay for their own personal chefs.
Sending them pizzas.
And they're not going to have special treadmills at office.
Oh, speaking of cakes, I have some cakes right here. So I'm having a little nibble.
I'm hungry. Do you know what we need to do, Miz? Is we need to set up an ASYLUM PO box system, and we'll actually get a studio, and people can come to the studio, and then people can send us food, and we'll eat it live on stream. How's that sound?
Get it delivered. Eat cakes without sharing.
Matt Sherman says, no joke, I've had to write a hit by a bus documentation in years past to ensure that there isn't some loss to knowledge in the event of unforeseen circumstances.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't surprise me.
The reason I brought this up is because because I used to work as a server engineer. I've had to do exactly the same thing. You know, it's things like this that most people don't think about.
It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a thing. It's a legit. Well, I mean, like, it's the same thing. I've been in. I've been driving. Not driving, flying. I travel a lot with work, and I think there's a few times where we had the entire design team were on a plane together, and I remember looking at each other going, if anything happened on this plane right now, this company's kind of screwed, because we're all literally on this plane together.
That actually happened to a national football team last year, I think, didn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it has happened a few times.
My colleague Fabio was actually hit by a bus on his way to work last year, so it's something that.
We are in the Simon. It's a slightly scary place, but let's move off of the morbid topic of death and destruction. Let's move back
I
onto
love Star Citizen.
something something far more attractive. Far more attractive, which is
Aurora instead, which is far more demeaning.
the HUDs. I really like these.
Pretty light.
Colourful. I do, because the other ones are really, really hard to see all the time. This is probably really hard to understand because there's lots of colours, and it might be a bit of a like, whoa, okay. But I'll have some space weed when I watch them. But I think that they will get to a happy medium. But
I think this is very, very concept. And the reason it's so easy to read is because it's on a solid, not opaque background.
Yeah,
but
worries.
As for the actual graphical design, it doesn't feel very Star Citizen to me.
It looks Star Trek-y.
It does look Star Trek-y.
That's probably why I'm liking it, I think.
But
to be
fair, if they brought the rest of the UI in line with this, then I could see it.
But they might change them as well. I mean, this is only one iteration. I mean, think about Grim Hex's one, the way that they've designed their HUDs. I reckon this one might be for one type of station. This could be like a Banu type of one, or it could be an alien. This could be an alien one. And then they'll show us a Vanduul one will look really different red, probably with like crazy shit going on and stuff. So I just like the fact there's more colors than just light blue against light blue backgrounds where you can't read anything and you're like blinded by the light. And it's like
UI is tier 0 at the moment. That's
see anything.
It's just like you know, they're going to do UI it's going to be something that's going to get worked on a lot over and over, and they're going to have a lot of feedback and then change it, that sort of thing.
So good to see. I'm looking forward to seeing much more. And then they showed us some of the armor. Oh, actually, do you know what I'm going to talk about? I'm going to talk about my mistake. I own up. Our hands are coming up here as I own up mistake. I made a mistake. The Tumbrel.
It's one of the vehicles I'm most excited for.
Yeah, I made a mistake on this one. Now, and I'm going to specifically show why I made the mistake, and then I'll explain what was my lapse in judgment. We all make mistakes. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Hang on. Where is it? Do I have a picture of it?
Do we forgive you?
Oh, fuck. Basically, I wasn't a fan of the styling of this one, and it was because of the wheels. The wheels were too skinny on the original one. And if anyone's seen the video, I need to try and dig up some video footage of it jumping over the planets and stuff. You can see these skinny little tiny little wheels at the back. They look shit. Didn't like them. But I did love the I mean, the only thing in the Andromeda that I liked for Mass Effect was the rover, because it had these really cool big fat chunky tires on the rover. And I really loved that aggressive kind of look of it. And I really wanted them to have that. And that was my biggest grumble with the Tumbrel. It just looked weedy. And my friends who are car designers always tell me, you start with the wheels, and then the rest comes after. And so for me, it was always the weak point. But now I see this, coupled with the fact the Nox is so shit, the rover is struggling with hover mechanics, and the Dragonfly is still struggling with hovers as well, even though it's better than the Nox. And the fact that the rover is kind of like the cockpit's a bit enclosed, it's a bit slow, and I tend to bump into rocks every 5 seconds. I feel like this vehicle is going to be the fun answer that I was looking for with the Nox. And it'll be crazy fun to go over everything. And like, I want one. Anyone selling one?
On my stream. I keep saying it on my stream, once this vehicle is in the game, I can genuinely see some great times, such as the Star Citizen version of the Dakar Rally. You know, I really think that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to see a Nomad version of this as well, where it's all filthy and like got weird kind of tanks feel. Like I said, the Mad Max version of this would be. Having seen this now, the wheels look so much better, and it just makes it look so much more right. And I'm just like, damn it! I wish I bought one now. So anyone that's bought one and has one spare, please contact me.
I definitely want to get the racing variant. I think because at the moment I have the anti-aircraft variant because I thought, you know, with my group of friends, that'd be the thing that would be most useful, but I regret not getting the racing variant. And I know the Few has a racing variant, so I might steal his.
Let's borrow someone else's.
I want it. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. So I'm very, very excited about that. And then I actually have a question. And this is just my stupid question. What does Foundry 42 DE stand for?
The German.
Is that what it is? It's Deutschland. That's what I thought. I thought that's what it was, but I wasn't sure. I was just like, it's because they've got another. So they've got Squadron 42 in Germany as well as in the UK now, from what I understand. Okay, or has that always been the case?
I'm pretty sure that's always been the case, isn't it? I think I could be wrong.
I wasn't sure. I genuinely wasn't sure. I just thought that it was like 42 was in.
Well, you're making me question
UK.
myself now. Fuck you, man.
Sorry, I don't want to. You're right. It was just I've just been crazy busy with work and then crazy busy with other things. And there's a few little things that sometimes are like I haven't had time to do the homework, and I'm just throwing out there to see if somebody could tell me the answer. And
to be fair, I do the same thing. Like I learn so much from streaming. I just ask lots of questions while I'm streaming. So yeah.
I'm not board gamer. I can't hold that information.
No, I'm exactly the same. I don't retain information at all. The one thing I'm curious about with the Tumbril Cyclone, though, when we saw that video of them bouncing along the moon, it didn't have a steering wheel. Now I don't know whether it's not supposed to have a steering wheel. Sorry, guys, this need to plug in.
This one doesn't appear to have a steering wheel either.
Yeah.
Madness. People are saying you're loud, by the way, still. I don't know if you saw my message.
All right, I'll turn it down.
Quite a bit unbalanced, they're saying. So if you want to just turn yours down, then everyone can turn the whole thing up.
How about now? 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 How about now?
No, just kidding.
How about now? Sorry, I know I can be a bit loud.
You do go back and forward all the time, though.
I do.
As well.
I get excited. I do get excited.
It doesn't help. You're going to have to get one of those like mics that just stick to your earphone. Use that instead the podcast.
Is that?
I think you're right.
Do you have a USB microphone, Madness?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's have a chat later. I'll sort you out, mate. Don't worry.
Noise gate. The noise gate.
No, you need.
You're just too loud.
Noise gate is kind of like how voice activation works on Discord. So once it hits a certain threshold. The volume, it will cut out. What you need is a compressor. So with a compressor, when you move back, it tries to retain the same volume, and when you get closer, it tries to retain. But I'll sort you out. Don't worry. I'll send you links.
Superb. Thank you so much. That sounds. To be honest, just briefly, that is one of the main things for the last part of this year, or the next part of this year, because I've got my chair now, is the audio. So a mixer and, like you say, just to try and get the audio so that I kind of have it like manually, so I can put stickers on it, and I can, because I can't do it through the voice meter. I find it hard. I can change things, but I just find it hard to. I want to be able to put, post-it stickers and go. That does this and that does that, and it's super easy for someone like me.
I volunteered
How's
for
the audio
radio station for 5 years, and while I'm not an audio engineer, I have worked with a BBC audio engineer who's taught me stuff. So
wicked. Well, yeah, good band to have. Great, fantastic. So I agree. I think this is going to be this could be the most funnest. Hopefully, they get it in quickly is all I'm thinking. I'm hoping this comes in for as soon as possible, because I want more fun on land, that's for sure.
Same.
And then with the next question, the next thing was we're gonna go, let's have a look. That was kind of, there's the armor, which was, I'm not going to go talk about the armor. You go see the armor yourself. It was pretty cool. The HUDs was good. The volumetric cloud stuff, holy shit. Let me just dig it up. See if I can get this picture to work. It's not going to. Where is it? Where are you, volumetric? Of course, you're not going to work now. Which you guys have probably seen. Here it is. Bang.
It's clouds in the sky.
This I'm so excited for.
We've been saying it for quite a while now, haven't we? We just were looking forward to having weather and clouds and all those nasty effects.
It's just like, we were talking about it last year, and I was showing pictures of videos from other games and stuff, and like my biggest thing is like obviously having clouds and stuff on planets where you could potentially come into like a raining, your ship flies in and you be dry on the outside, and then you fly through clouds and you get the moisture, and then it's raining underneath, and then you have to have your, I don't know how you gonna, actually it's a question, how are they going to have wipers on like spaceships?
Just on your car.
I'm just thinking about that. I just realised. I was just thinking, actually, hang on. How are they going to make it so that
it's an upgrade to your ship. You hire someone that in a suit, and they hang on and they get a rag. And as you fly past, they just wipe along with a rag.
Swims past you on the front. He's like hooked in. He's like, he's in microcloth from space.
You have shields.
Window clean the squeaky things.
I'm just thinking of the has anyone seen that cartoon Sing? It's like an animation one where the guy's like a koala and he's run out of money and he has to clean cars, but he uses his body to clean the cars. That's kind of what I'm imagining. What will be on the spaceship? Someone outside.
I've not got a problem at all using my own body to clean ships.
Clean windows.
If that's what you want, Madness, I will give it to you.
In a Speedo.
My chest is coming straight towards you, my friend.
Oh, but it's legit. Like, how are they going to do it? Like, I mean, I guess it'd be hot, so maybe it would turn to steam and evaporate, I guess, but the ship would be pretty hot.
I would imagine that once rain hits your shields, like
you're talking about shields. Okay, yeah, okay, fair, true enough, yeah.
But you probably will have a rain effect hitting the windshield when you don't have shields, I would imagine. So it's in your interest when it rains to make sure your shields are up.
That would be maybe just part of me like. Maybe it'll be on the smaller ships. Maybe like on the when you have like the drop ships.
Display so it doesn't build on it and it just flies off as you're moving.
Yeah, that would be. I'm just thinking now that would be funny. Anyway, but no, it looks fantastic. It looks amazing. I mean, let's be honest. Star Citizen makes the best desktop screensavers already, and they just keep making it look even better. And I can't begin. Like Reddit is just a mash.
When people were complaining about the frame rate in the PTU, that's the thing that I kept reminding them. Yes, it's only 5 frames per second, but every frame is a desktop wallpaper.
Enjoy them.
It is.
I think I think they implemented that on purpose just so you can enjoy the beauty of the game. It's like you will look at this scene for half an hour before moving on to the next one.
Savour the flavour, everybody.
Savour it.
Do you know how long I've spent working on those beer bottles on your fucking table? You will look at them before leaving your eating hub.
Right, what have we got next? Oh, here we go. Oh, yes. Oh, hang on. I just realised I should go. I'm keep dropping backwards, but let me just load up these pictures quick because there are a lot of them and they're just like literally porn. They're just porn.
Oh, good. Bring them on.
For combat people, they're just ridiculously awesome.
Don't forget, guys, exclamation mark question in chat if you want to ask us a question. Like I said earlier, if you ask questions in chat, we'll try and answer them as we're going if it's relevant to the topic. But we do sometimes miss them, so if you want it answered properly, fill out.
Oh wait, was it supposed to be
dedicate a bit at the end?
Yeah, we're going to be doing question time in about half an hour or so.
Question time.
Depending on questions, we'll just do a check to see how many questions there are, and if there's lots of questions, then we'll do them. If there's like 2 questions, then we might carry on chatting.
So you can plan your next move. Yeah, that's it. It's like chess. It's come out the door.
That starts it right now. A game of chess.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is just like again just showing that they've improving the kind of the atmosphere and just the improvement on details, just stunning. Just
the thing that genuinely really impresses me is the level of details. It's like we can see things from so far away, and the pop-in, even though it's an alpha, the pop-in is so minuscule. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah. I can forgive it because I kind of go, well, look at the scale of what they're trying to achieve, and the fact that they've got a little bit of popping now and again doesn't really. It's like it's not great, but
what I'm saying is that it's nothing compared to other games.
Yeah, true.
It's actually really
for an alpha. The worrying about the popping is not such a big deal.
Yeah.
No. The next, okay, so we got some sexy guns.
Best damn turn-based space game ever.
Sexy.
I love that magazine. That's
yes.
so cool.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, no, because the thing is like they are basically mini spaceships, the guns. They have to have huge amounts of animation added to them. They have to look good. They have to be modeled correctly. They are literally spaceships, just in small format. So yeah, the guys who do these stuff, they do such a good job. They're beautiful. I can imagine this is going to spin.
SIG need to license their gun designs to Nerf. I want Nerf guns like this.
Nerf Star Citizen guns.
Yeah. Oh, the gear that they could, the merchandise and the toys and stuff they could make. Oh, they do need a bit of orange. They do need a bit of orange. But look at that. Like, oh my days. Like this, I was like, is this the Vanduul rocket launcher?
No.
You sure?
No.
That's the trigger there. There's your trigger. Or is
I
this a
need
gun
an
on a
honest
ship?
scale.
Is this a
Looks
ship?
like a
That's a
railgun.
gun. Is it a railgun? Or the
It looks like a
Vanduul?
railgun.
Barrel bit looks like the railgun. It's all glowing.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a Vanduul type of thing.
Don't think it's Van.
Looks like another railgun.
Is that
Yeah,
the
it probably
back
is
end?
another
I see what you mean.
handheld missile launcher. That's what I was thinking. It's a missile launcher.
Actually, yeah, is that the back end of it?
Yeah, it's
Load
got to be a
part.
missile launcher. That's what I said, because they did. A lot of people probably don't remember, but they did talk about how they were working on the Vanduul missile RPG, and there was the railgun. It was like the railgun and then Vanduul RPG. So I'm still been waiting for it. Maybe this isn't the Vanduul one, but maybe this is just another RPG. Maybe this is just a standard RPG, but it looks a bit alien-esque. Do you know what I mean?
Imagine if this is actually a
Whose logo is
device
that?
for cleaning windows.
I don't know. I think it would take the windows out personally, but yeah, and the pilot. I think I'll be like, yeah, strapped to my shoulder. It's not Vanduul, but it is a missile launcher. Okay, cool. So they have done a missile launcher, but yeah, it was originally meant to be. I did think, unless I'm adding the Vanduul. Oh, Xi'an. Oh, could be. Yeah, could be Xi'an. Yeah. Anyways, looks wicked.
possibly,
I
yeah.
can't wait to see more. So very excited about that. And then I'm going to, as we're talking about beautiful things, let me see if I can get this. Oh, actually, hang on. We're going to move on to Reddit briefly. I'm going to try and get quickly through this because there's a lot of things here, but there's some good things here. So this is the first one. So I'm going to read this out. Let me just change the screen. So monthly report roundup. What do you guys think whilst I'm doing this?
Oh goodness, I actually wrote things down for this.
What do you think? What's your feelings on what you saw for the monthly report overall?
Has he gone muted? Has he muted himself?
No, can you hear me?
No, not you. Moist Noodle. He's saying something. I can't hear him.
Oh, we can't hear you.
He goes, "Oh, I've written something for this."
Spent how long with the BBC sound engineer, did you say?
Be quiet.
There, oh,
Not long enough.
there you are.
Oh no, you're asking.
There you are.
Oh. Oh, my score's gone.
Oh, we're losing him. We're losing him.
Hang on.
There you go. I can hear you now.
No, yeah, actually, I've got to ring him back.
All right. Anyway, Miss, what did you think of the monthly report whilst Noodle fixes his microphone?
There we go.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
you're
it
back.
looked good. Yeah, you know, I mean, like you said, from the ATVs where we're not getting so much of the sexy stuff to look at, it was quite nice to be able to see some of that available to us. Get some of those good pictures in. Is it working, Amwist?
Yeah, I think so. My Discord just went really wonky for some reason.
Yeah, it does that sometimes. So, did you say you had something about the monthly report?
Oh, yes. They have a new hair shader, so I'm hoping I can have blue hair. That would be awesome. That was the one thing that really stood out to me. That's pretty much
The
me done.
most important thing.
Oh no, my poor laptop is dying. There we go.
Okay. So, how did Moist? Were you happy with the monthly report? Were you pleased? Anything surprised you? Looking disappointed you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with everything, really. I think we pretty much covered everything up to this point. I've kind of
Yeah, I think so.
aired
Just
kind of how I felt about everything. So, yeah.
Perfect. That's fine. So, moving on to Reddit quickly. So, this is somebody's given me. So, this is a fix. Okay. So, this is to do with performance right now. I don't know if this is 100%. People can bunk me very quickly here, but Squid Incorporated has noticed that players getting the worst bugs are those who have recently done a complete uninstall and reinstall of 3.0 or have recently pledged and downloaded 3.0, while those who simply upgraded from previous versions have relatively stable games or bugs easily fixed by insurance claims. Under this observation, they started to think that maybe the new patcher is failing to upload some files and that older installs are privy to files that new installers are not that the game's stability. To help, this person called Ninja Foof has been nice enough to upload his data pack for anyone experiencing major bugs who wants to try this method by solving them. Warning, this is a full game, so the download is 38.38 gigabytes. I have the link for it. Just wanted to try it in an attempt to get some newer recruits into much faster, blah, 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 blah. If you would like to do it, I have the information. So it seems... I don't know if this is true, but somebody was looking at the information. It appears that perhaps if you're having bad luck with your game and it's not working very well and you're a new person, you've just recently downloaded the game and you're wondering why people like myself and other people are maybe getting better frames, one of the reasons could potentially be this, that we actually have some information, perhaps, that you don't on older files. What do you guys think? If this is true?
The new launcher delete the old launcher and the game. We all downloaded the new game. No, we all downloaded the new game.
Mine carried over from the PTU. So I don't know if there are...
PTU, it carried over, but then the whole PTU was a whole new download.
Okay.
So...
if anyone's interested... DM me in Discord, !Discord or whatever. Feel free to ask me. I will give you the link. I'll give you the information. You can go away and check it and, double check it. Obviously, I wouldn't ever ask anyone to go straight onto something and download 38 gigabytes of something that I'm not aware of. So it's just something I wanted to throw out there, see if anyone else has heard about it, if anyone knows if this is legit or if this is fake or is this just a phony piece of shit. So
I don't think it's right because I think everybody downloaded the new game. No one, it wasn't allowed. That's why you all had to use the new launcher. And then when you run the new launcher, it said delete old game, delete old launcher. And even if you had the PTU, so yeah, maybe people from the PTU have got files that are more stable. That's possible. But
I don't think it's possible because it looks at the manifest file to check that the correct files are all
the
there.
Files.
So if there are sort of zombie files, it will delete them, and if there are missing files, it will add them. Yeah. So the only way that it could be wrong is if it isn't replacing a file that needs to be replaced, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's... I mean, I've seen people on Facebook, it's like one of the Star Citizen groups on Facebook, it's just constant posts of someone taking a screenshot of their FPS being 60 or 70, and it's like, but it doesn't last like that, or it's until the server... And everyone keeps coming up with all these theories of why they're getting so many frames, and it's not... They're not getting them constantly and that, it's just... It's like if I flick a coin before I log in and then I turn around on my chair 3 times, it works. So if you all try that at home, you'll get at least 5 more frames. Or if you want to get 10 more frames, you've got to roll the D20.
Okay.
But yeah,
I know that they said that or Chris said over Christmas, I think it was actually on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, wasn't it? He said that the frame rate issues were as a result not of the net code, but of the things that people were doing on the server.
You're playing the game, how dare you?
Yeah, exactly. But what I would really like to know is I would like for Sig to elaborate on kind of what specifically, is there any one thing or a couple of things that are causing those issues?
I suppose they need the reports of people saying, I think it's this, I suppose, because then they can investigate it. But really, I think, like you said, it's like statistics in terms of it's so hard to replicate because you don't know how many people are on your server. You don't know what ships they've spawned, where they are at the current time. There's so many different things that could be affecting the frames.
On top of that, in Around the Verse, I think it was one of the SIR engineers or DevOps mentioned that it's something like 50,000 lines of log every minute or something like that. Can you imagine having to trawl through all of that to try and find the line where something actually went wrong? Especially when you don't know what you're looking for.
I wouldn't like to be
it's... Well, I used to have to do that because what I used to do in my old job is I didn't monitor servers. I was the person that people would go to when things went wrong. So that was my job pretty much all day, every day, going through logs. Yeah. But it wasn't that many lines, So no, I wouldn't want to just sit there all day just staring at incoming logs.
No, I wouldn't either.
Especially not at Christmas.
Log watching.
No way. Yeah. I mean, respect though, massive respect. I mean, we're not going to get to ATV, but I just want to say,
I don't think I've quite heard.
the log
I've heard of
watcher.
the other fetish to do with logs, but not just watching them.
We're going to dark places here. The ATV guys, I'm just going to say it here because I'm not going to go. ATV guys, you did such a great job. Well done. Thank you so much for the hard work you did over Christmas. I think we all appreciate it heavily. Even if, you know, the frames were a bit shoddy at times. You guys put out something that I personally didn't expect. And I think you did a great job. So fantastic stuff. I'm going to show this video because this video blew me away, and I love showing videos. So this video was amazeballs. This is in 4K panoramic, and it shows the game off looking so good. I watched this and I was just like, God damn, this is amazing.
I know that a lot of people are going to poke fun at me, but I actually bought an ultra wide just for 3.0.
Yeah, it makes me kind of go, I kind of like the idea of that. Like, I was like, when I saw this, I just saw the detail on the gear, and then, or no, we play the game, but this was
the letterbox.
Well, that's because it was recorded on an ultra wide.
Yeah, it's on an ultra wide. Yeah. So you're getting that kind of like that kind of view and stuff, but it is just like freaking stunning. When I saw that, I was just like, it blew me away. Anyway, that was kind of a great video. I'll link it in chat. You guys go check out the video. It's a really good video. I'll link it in chat now. Go check it out if you've never seen it. Well worth checking out. Next thing, a little Reddit one is this.
Wrigley's just said in chat, that's a movie, not a game. The one thing I cannot wait for is seeing a lot more content from content creators, because I think we will genuinely see like movie quality stuff.
Yeah, we've seen a few now with the whole floating around space and getting really good slow motions, and I think Ralim did some really good like time-lapse ones and things, but actual like machinima type things that I've tried in earlier patches, and it's just been so buggy, the whole walking movement and everything else, that it's not worked out. But now with this sort of quality, you're going to be almost like films bloody watching them.
Right. Here's my next thing is I don't know if anyone notices, but a lot of these ATV videos that you see on YouTube, they have a screenshot that doesn't match anything to do with what's actually going on in the video. Like, I've gone through many of the videos going, where's this screenshot from? Where's this screenshot from? And I couldn't find it. And this was another one. It was like, there's the Nomad and there's the hologram of his kind of gear, and I was kind of going, is this a communication device? Is this going to be the communication where someone's talking to him and we're kind of getting the hologram talking, or is this just him looking at his gear, deciding on what gear he's going to have? So I was like, ooh, that looks kind of,
damn, I look sexy on this.
He's like looking at himself like, yeah. He's thinking
Hervey just said exactly what I was thinking. It's clickbait. That it is.
It is. And then actually we'll go back to Miles in a second. Consumer goods, these are drugs. I love the fact that drugs are considered consumer goods. Good job, CIG. Love that.
Well, they're consumers and they're goods, so
this was actually in the monthly report, but I pulled it off of Reddit first. This is the shields, the new shield animation. It looks sick, by the way.
It looks amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah. Really, really cool. The raindrops. That's what's going to happen to the raindrops, basically, when you come into planet that we were discussing earlier. Miles, I can't wait to be able to actually sit down with Miles and have a mission with him. It would be nice, wouldn't it, really?
I can't wait to lick his head. Like, that fidelity is fucking amazing. It just looks so good.
What, his head? Yeah. It just looks so good I need to lick
the wrinkles in the head, the eye. I just might stick my tongue in his eye or something. I don't know. But like,
yeah, it's amazing.
Ow, you're coming out with a fetishes tonight. I like those wrinkles in that head and those eyes. Oh, gotta lick them eyeballs.
But like, the one thing I think they've done really well actually is, in all seriousness, is eyes.
Yeah, eyes.
Leave the coat out of it. Don't trigger me.
Eyes are to the soul. If you do the eyes badly, it fails. Everything else fails. You have to do eyes correctly, otherwise instant, uncanny valley. Instant, no matter how good everything else is.
It's a bit like,
I mean, look at the... sorry, go for it.
It's a bit like Mark Zuckerberg and Nevsky. His eyes are so dead, right?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I think that they've still got work to do when it comes to lighting on eyes, because if you notice, sometimes like the faces are lit quite well, but then the eyes are really, really dark, and I think that's a lot of the problem. Could just be me then.
But the lighting is
not done very well. Like I always find in a lot of games, it's one thing. No matter how, even when they look really good detailed, the animation of faces are always they always look fake. Still, it's so hard to replicate someone talking and it looking real.
Something that I look forward to them absolutely nailing, and it's one of the things that they showed off at CitizenCon, is NPCs looking into your eyes at appropriate moments.
Around your eyes.
Because that's one of the things.
Awkward. How are you today? Yes, have a drink.
Because I don't know if you noticed with the Squadron 42 demo at one point, Mark Hamill's character doesn't look into your eyes. When he's using the computer and he starts talking, he looks away. And I think that's the thing that breaks it sometimes, when they don't quite look directly into your camera.
Maybe he just doesn't. Maybe he sees you as below him, and he doesn't really want to, like, look at you.
Maybe just. He's like looking at your hair, kind of like, I don't want to look at the hair, I'm just looking down.
Who are you? I'm not that interested.
Kind of just like that, looking at your hair, like, okay.
When you've earned my respect, I'll look at you. Okay?
Yes. I was a pirate earlier, but now I'm a doctor. Let me heal you.
I wasn't sure if the microphone's going to pick up the microwave. The pregnant lady's getting some food, bless her.
Oh, bless.
She's hungry. She's like ravenous. It's feeding for two. She's just like, I'm hungry.
Lady.
Aren't we all a little bit hungry? But it's okay, because I have chipsticks. Can I interest anybody in some chipsticks?
I want some consumer goods, right? Have you guys seen this? This is the Lovell City Tiles concept.
I looked at it very quickly.
So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So this is kind of like a slice, I believe, of what it could look like. So processing components and heavy industrial structures, transit terrain. It looks really cool. Like Hurston just generally looks cool it already looks cool. So this is like, just showing us some of the building structures and the industrial, I can't wait to see Hurston in the game and fly to Hurston. It's going to be amazing.
Where up to this point, a lot of things in Star Citizen have reminded me of the original Blade Runner. This kind of reminds me of the new Blade Runner, once he's kind of left the main city and gone out to the outskirts. I think it looks awesome.
I presume that these tile things are what they're using to try and get the overall quick ideas across from art and team, and so they can share them around and say this is what we think this should look like and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to zoom in a bit just to kind of get that feel, but it is very Blade Runner-y and industrial Blade Runner. It is just dope.
I love that building. It looks awesome. And you just can't get a sense of scale of it from here. It looks big, but then when we saw it in the demo, I think that's the building we saw in the demo. It looks humongous.
Yeah, no, it's, we could talk about it for hours and just look at the videos and all the rest of it, but it's stunning. It's just nice to see more of the information, the detail and the scale, and this is just one little piece of it, you know what I mean? It's like these little tiles and they just stack up. It's stunning. Right, the next thing is, briefly before we go to questions, I have a throttle bug fix for anyone that's having throttle bugs. So if you're having a throttle bug fix, let me know. I have a throttle bug fix for you. The lawsuit for the Crytek, if anyone wants a basic rundown of that, I have one of those as well. If anyone wants to talk about the lawsuit, so if we get any questions, we'll talk about it, but I actually have a very clear rundown of what's going on. So
that whole scenario was absolutely fucking hilarious. I loved every minute of it.
Yes, it was hilarious. I'll throw the link in there. This is one of my favorite little just kind of links that someone's just done. The defense lands. And it's a good one. They do say that at the end of the day, it's still early days and this still could come back with stuff and it still could go on. So it's up to the lawyer and stuff. So we'll see. But
we'll wait. When it happens, it happens.
Exactly. And then Well, we got something to. Miles Eckhart, we talked about. Oh, yes. Here we go. Here we go. Hang on. This was for us, Miz. This is for us. This is a bug workaround, which me and Miz, we were playing and we got stuck in a lift at Levski. Do you remember?
Stuck.
Okay. Yeah, we got stuck. We basically got in the lift together. We couldn't get out of the lift. It was, and that was it. Now, this person, I'm going to bring up the list. They have basically done the same. They had the same thing, but the difference was they weren't both in there. And what happened is they got their friend to fly in to the hangar. And basically it says here, so I was picking up, went over the idea of the doors, pick up the guy, fly him to the exterior exits, fly down, sprint back up the ramp, and then lower it. And then basically what happened is that because they brought the ship in when they weren't supposed to, the AI took them both and then respawned them at Levski. So it took them out of the location. And that was basically the trick.
Did he land in their hangar and then bring their hangar, their lift back up to the hangar? Is that what he did?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Because it didn't work the other way. That's what someone was saying. If someone from inside Levski brought the hangar up, brought the elevator up, it wouldn't open. It wouldn't work. It'd be like an instance. But maybe by going into your landing pad and bringing it back down to the hangar, maybe that's what made it work. The lifts there are just nasty things.
but it's interesting. If you do have a friend,
what happens in an elevator?
There's a fix. Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. But yeah, if you
got down.
If you have that happen to you, there is a way. If you can get a friend to come and fly the ship in, you could potentially spawn yourselves at Levski, and then you save yourself all that hassle. So there could be a fix there for you, especially if you have cargo and ships and you get stuck. Yeah, don't try it. It's not going to work. And then I think I'm just thinking if there's anything. We're talking about faces. Do we have any more? No, we've already discussed faces. That's fine. Power management video. Really good video. I'm just going to throw it out there. Again, some people don't go on Reddit because they're scared of Reddit, but I love it. So I'm going to give you guys, this is a really good video. He's a bit drab, but it's really informative. So this is to do with the power system. So if you want to know, if you want to know about power and stuff and a good rundown, this is a good 10-minute video where he really breaks down exactly how everything works. So very, very useful. And I think we're at the end of it. This was just my last thing to. There was two things to see. There's two questions I have to pose, or not questions, but two kind of points I have for CIG before we go into questions. The first one is why, as a subscriber, and because 3.0 is predominantly based on cargo and that type of economy playing, do you give the subscribers a Retaliator which has 0 cargo space as the lone ship? It makes no sense to me.
I don't think that was
absolutely no sense to me.
I have to agree with you. It's not the first time they've done that though. It's like someone doesn't really. I think they
the only thing I can think of is that the subscriberships are probably in a schedule and were chosen a long time ago for this particular date.
How hard is it to change?
Good enough reason, is it really?
I'm not defending it. That's the only reason I can think that they've done that, because
yeah, it's just I think it's honestly, it's bad. You should change it. You should change it ASAP to a.
It's the person who ever decides the rewards for the subscribers didn't really think about it. They just went through the ship list and went, that one will do, and picked one that. Well, they probably got like a list of ones that have been done recently, and they kind of work through the list. I think that's what it boils down to. But yeah, it's sometimes you do feel like someone should go and say, look, we're releasing this. Let's give subscribers, something with cargo would be a nice idea. Most people would have presumed that they would have given them the Cutlass Black because of the rework as well and everything else, and it has cargo. It kind of would have made more sense to show the Cutlass Black off, let you use its cargo, but yeah.
I just like I said, it's just my mind boggled when I was thinking about it. I was like kind of going, when I saw the information, I was like, what's going on? Unless they're trying to test torpedoes, I just don't get it. So anyway, that's it.
It would have been nice if they did have something that is usable for 3.0. I know that per capita Live just said in chat, agreed it's likely on a schedule and who cares, it's a perk, not a guarantee. But the thing is, I got my friend Cecil into this game. I bought him a starter package, and the only ship he has at the moment is an Aurora. You know, and it's so difficult for him to make any sort of money with an Aurora because he can't upgrade in the game yet. You know, and he doesn't personally have the money to buy any other ship, so he's kind of stuffed, really.
Yeah, and so if you subscribed, and for $10 for 1 month, he could enjoy a Cutlass, enjoy 3.0 and all the glory of a cargo running if that's what he's interested in, really get a great feel for the game. But instead, he's limited to getting a torpedo boat, which, granted, it's fun for a little bit to get your friends in, 1 or 2 friends, if you sit inside, play with the turrets for a bit, miss at everything because nothing works, and then glitch out of it, and then just, like, you look at the scale and go, wow, it's really big, yay. Yeah, it's just... I agree. I think, yes, it is a perk, but they could use the perk to make a lot more people potentially buy the Cutlass Black, and potentially new players have a lot more fun. And that's what it's about. It's not about me. I've got Cutlasses. I've got, you know, these type of ships. So CIG, fix it, please, quickly.
If a person's enjoying a game, they're more likely to spend money on it.
Yeah, fix it. I think it would be a smart decision to fix that one quick and just say, yep. Okay, wrong ship. We'll give you another one. It can't be that hard. What was I going to say? Let's go to questions. Let's do it, miss.
Cargo wasn't out before 3.0.
Cargo? Don't think so.
No, it wasn't. Okay, so the first question is someone who knows someone who someone knows. Something like that. Who is your favourite bodyguard / fellow player in game?
Death Ghosts.
Mine would probably be Graveheart. He's the best sniper I've ever met. He kills people from like K's away. I can't wait to, he's like, I mean, there's lots of pilots that I could name. I'm not going to name them all. I think and lots of orgs are my bodyguards. But in terms of an individual person that I'd want on my back, yeah, Graveheart as a sniper, he's freaking awesome.
I have not got a problem whatsoever with picking favourites. It's definitely Death Ghost.
Out of people that I know, it'd probably just be Madness because I've been dogfighting with him. So, and although he's not been doing dogfighting for a while, so it's probably not great.
I wouldn't be a good choice. I wouldn't be a good choice right now.
But I don't know anyone that because I don't do that sort of game style. I don't know anyone that's that trade. Well, Toby's he's pretty good as well.
What out of interest? What is your game style? Do you wash ships for a living?
Yes, I do. I clean ships. I got a broom. And a mop and I clean stuff. No, well, it's hard to do game style when there's not that many mechanics in there. But at the moment, I suppose before 3.0, I was just doing missions mostly and crashing into stations and a bit of combat. Then Manus started teaching me some combat towards the end of 2.6, and then now for 3.0, I haven't played it as much as I want to, but we've mostly just been doing teaming up with Madness and just doing multi-crew. Just flying with each other and exploring planets and things. So,
it is quite difficult because we're all pretty much I think we all pretty much have the same play style at the moment because we're so limited in what we can do still. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I think everybody has a wish of what they would like to become later on, but dependent on how the mechanics work. I would really like to get into search and rescue and salvaging, but search and rescue and the salvaging mechanics might not end up being what I want, and I might end up going down a completely different route. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, see. And I think they're going to keep improving. They're going to keep improving on all the mechanics as well. Like Aaron said in Reverse the Verse, he said, all of this stuff will be, improved and we'll get constant iterations and improvements.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you might not like it at tier 1 or tier 0, but by the time it gets to tier 5, you might love it.
Yeah. I mean, there is an element, actually, that's a good, the question that was asked is good for me in some ways because of wanting to do some sort of cargo running and things like that, having bodyguards or people that are good at that sort of stuff is quite useful to know, to get to know people that are good at both FPS and ship dogfighting as well, because you're going to need them sort of people, because I'm not that one. I'm not the one that people are going to go to for bodyguards, so you need to find people that are good at that.
That's why Death Ghost pops into my head straight away, because that's how it works at the moment. I'm crap at fighting. Death Ghost literally just follows me around everywhere and kills anybody that comes close to me. He's literally my streaming bodyguard. It's awesome, but it gives it's like a profession for him, I think now. It gives him some.
It's quite a good one. It's a good one to do, though. It's a good way of practice. Because at the end of the day, streamers, especially certain types of streamers, will draw stream snipers. You will draw them. So if you're a bounty hunter, or if you just want to kill somebody and you know that this person's very popular, you're guaranteed someone's going to come along and try and kill this person. So you can protect. It gives you. Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. You don't have to go anywhere. They're coming to you. Yes. Brilliant. I love that idea. That's a great one. Which actually talks about, which is Erin was talking about the fact that FPS combat, AI combat, isn't that far away, which is very exciting. Very exciting, actually, for a lot of people on planet. So that's good. That's going to be fun.
The next question is from the Riddler, and he says, "Do you know the way?" I don't. This must be a joke.
I know the way. The way. Yeah. I know many ways. It might not be the right way, though.
It's been asked in chat quite a lot at the start, so I'm presuming maybe it's...
I think the problem is we're all far too old, and it's one of those sort of dank memes that all those kids keep talking about.
I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are, so no, I don't know the way.
I've passed my teenage years many, many years ago. I am not down with the kids or hip or any of that kind of the lingo. It took me ages to figure out what WTF stands for, and
there we go. Matt Sherman says it's a last 2 weeks kind of meme. That's a problem. If it hasn't been around for a year, I probably am not aware of it. It filters down to us peasants eventually.
Maybe I'll get it at some point. Yeah.
Someone give me the pop-up version.
We get like the drip feed. We'll get there. Like someone and we go, "Oh, do you know that?" And everyone says, "Yeah, that was last news. We don't do that anymore."
Yeah, I need the meme book for dummies. That's what I need. They're sent to me.
VGQBR asks, "What do you think of the reworked larger Avenger?"
I think it's sexy as hell. I love that new living space in the middle.
It looks, I mean, that whole climbing up and crawling through and everything else before was just such a pain in the ass. So, I mean, it probably sounded like a good idea on paper, but the new stuff is, I think, is really nice. I like it.
I don't know. In the Squadron 42 video, we saw that ship, and I love the texture on the outside of it, but I'm wondering if that's just a texture for the advocacy version.
That's what it seemed like.
Oh, that's a shame, because that was such a sexy skin.
I'm going to want to buy it.
Something similar.
I'm probably going to buy it back. The Avenger Titan. Yeah, I had the Avenger Titan LTI one because when it was a part of the skin, the new fancy skin that it had. But it was originally supposed to have 2 seats. It only had 1, and now it's got 2 again, which is great. I liked getting in the back, actually. I know a lot of people, I love the animation on the door with the way the door span in a circle and then it opened up and then you jumped into it. I liked that. I thought it was kind of different and a bit fun. However, it did tend to throw me into the ceiling, turn me around backwards and then throw me back out again, which wasn't so good. So I can appreciate the fact that they've standardized and kind of change so you get in the
whenever
front,
I tried to go for that crawl space, I just always ended up being spawned in null, so so that's why I got rid of that ship.
Yeah. But it was my first upgrade ship. I had a Mustang Alpha, and then I went for the that one. I got that one when it was on sale.
I think you've just hit the nail on the head there, and that's why I think that's actually one of the most important ships to rework, because it's pretty much the first upgrade for everybody.
And it is a perfect upgrade as well, though, isn't it? It's the perfect, what next step up if you don't want to spend too much. It's a perfect ship, really. With the modularity on it and stuff like that as well.
You got
Now with
the EMP version, the cargo version. It's got good armaments. Generally, it's got a good gun on it. I mean, when it did have, the Gatling gun, it's nimble. It's a really good all-round starship. Really good all-round starship. And like you said, that little bit above, the one to get straight away, to get you a bit more money, to get you to the next tier, which we'll all, like you say, have to do. So, yes, I love it. Very happy.
So the next question is from Chewy, and it's a Moist Noodle, and he says, will I get a friend dog in-game? Kind regards, Chewy.
I just happened to pick up Chewy as you read that.
Of course.
Everyone keeps wanting me to raffle my puppy. It's not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've already won it. It's going to become the Asylum's dog now. It's going to go to either Madness or myself.
We'll get her a little coat.
It's going to come in the post.
It's amazing. Just the chair is it's luxury.
It looks very.
I've already probably put on, I think, an extra kilo. I haven't left. I can't move. I'm literally like, my missus, they got to watch TV, and I literally just roll next to the thing and just go, pfft, and then start watching TV. But then like lean back, and then I like roll next to the kitchen, start doing the dishes, then roll back to my desk again. It's just, there's no point leaving it. It's so comfortable. Thank you, Streamlabs. Thank you so much. It's the best chair I've ever had in my life. It's amazing.
Did you get it because it says lag on it?
Yeah, no, lag. No, I got it because it was on sale, and it was meant to be one of the best. So that's the only reason.
Okay, cool. Next question is from Mr. Squarepeg, and he says, "What are your thoughts on the Calling All Devs show that's on the Star Citizen YouTube?"
I like the idea of it.
What's my thoughts on it?
Yeah, you haven't watched it yet, have you?
I haven't watched it yet. No. I have been too busy with work. It literally
came out before the podcast, so.
Oh, did it? Oh, no.
I think it was like 15 or 20 minutes or something before.
Watch it now.
I really like the idea of it because because sorry,
it's okay.
Because there were so many times where we'd have other shows with developers, and we were getting questions coming in, and developers couldn't answer them. So clearly Lando was trying to filter through them to get the right questions, which was, I'm sure, a pain in the ass for him. Just going directly to the devs, I think, is a fantastic idea, because we get the questions answered that we want answered, and by the right.
And they go to, the questions that they asked, at least the first three, the first two were not that brilliant, but if that's what people are asking, then I suppose he's picking like the top questions, or I don't know where he's picking them from really, but
you can't blame them, but
Citizens of the Stars was kind of the same thing, but they named it wrong. To me, they was putting a lot of attention on the devs in Citizens of the Stars, so I think it's better to just call it this and do what you're saying you're doing. You go to the devs, approach them with a question, and then what's nice is he called up like 3 or 4 different types of devs that are specifically the best ones to ask that question, because I think, as you just said, Moist Noodle, you'd get a tech or a UI dev come on, and then people will start asking them about the engine, and it's like, I can't tell you that, I'm doing the UI. So I think by doing it this way, it's better, because what he's doing is he's going through and saying, well, you've got a UI question, right, let's go to someone that does UI. You've got a question about the mechanics, then we'll go to someone that's working on that. So hopefully it'll filter through some better questions with proper answers, rather than
Matt Sherman. Just to roll on from that, Matt Sherman literally just said the first episode was more of a, what are some of the common questions we know about?
Right, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And they've got a new spectrum post.
So I did put on there, so the first 3, one of them was like, how many land claims will fit on the moon? Now, I think they've answered that quite a few times, but basically the answer to that, if you want to know, they went to Dave Haddock, and he said that if every citizen bought the largest land claim available, because it's large and medium or small at the moment, it still wouldn't fill one moon. And then he said in Stanton alone, there are 4 planets and about 8 to 10 moons. So running out of space is not something that's going to happen too much.
Again, Matt Sherman just said that something to consider, even with this new format, while some questions that may have been passed up previously may get answered, it doesn't mean it's always going to be an answer that people like. But my take on that is, at least you're managing expectations. I think a big problem that we've had in the past is that SIG hasn't managed expectations well at all. Even if it's not the answer that we want right now, at least people don't get hyped about something only to be let down later on. So there we go.
Wow. It's also could be a good way for them to readdress, like when sometimes a piece of news comes out and it wasn't communicated particularly well, and then there's all these questions, and then all of a sudden you get an answer from CIG on Spectrum or something like that. It might be a nicer way that we'll get some more official,
the Gladius cockpit would have been a good one. They could have answered very quickly on the back in the day. Something back like that would have been good to know.
So I definitely think it's a good format. It'd be nice to see how it goes going forward, and we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, I think it's good.
I just watched it briefly, very quickly. Just saw it. I think just judging on the muted version that I watched, I was making up the voices for the characters. To be fair, I did kind of have Spanish. I think Matt, you had a Spanish voice in my head when I was kind of looking at it, and then a few of the other ones. But generally, from what I can see, and if they are answering questions in that format, makes a lot of sense. Looks good, and I will look forward to watching it after the show tonight. I'll catch up in bed. Should be good.
Always going to be watching you in bed, Matt.
I watch everybody in bed. If you stream, I watch you in bed. I watch you on the toilet. I watch you in the shower. I watch you all over the place. I watch you in the car. Don't think for a second that I don't, because I do. And I expect you do as well when I'm streaming, so it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, next question before it gets out of hand. Death Ghosts asks, what sounds are you missing in the PU? Dripping water, hole cracking, generator sounds, radio interface sounds, or whip sounds like a flyby?
Do you know what I really look forward to? When we have voice over IP and we can hear like bleed over from other radio. Like that's what I hope, the sort of thing that we get. Like, was it Freelancer where you could hear radio traffic, I think, around you?
It's been ages since
I can't remember, but like I just love that idea of hearing actual player radios.
Yeah, and you mean voice comm radios, or you just mean music? So
as in voice comm in the game. So, like for example, if you've got two ships communicating with each other and just happen to be on the same frequency, I don't know how it's going to work, but that would be awesome.
Spying and prying. That's what you're missing. Is spying and prying.
I like to watch.
He's one that say you're going to be a window cleaner, and you're just going to look in the window and go, just watching.
Who needs sponges when you've got breasts like these?
Oh my God. Honestly.
Oh, they'll never have me back on this podcast. What have I done?
No, you're perfect. I'm already writing you in for the next couple shows. I'm like, right, Moist is coming back on this day and this day. No, it's all good, man. You're in the right place.
I don't know what sounds, to be honest. I mean, I would kind of like the tie in with the weather sort of thing. Again, we keep going on that, but I think that does give you a lot of atmospheric sounds from that. So having like some thunder and lightning and things like that, and especially when you're like on the dark side of it, it turns to night and stuff. I think that would add to the atmosphere. I don't know. I can't think of anything else. I think like if you had, we're missing again. A lot of the sounds I'm sort of thinking of is more to build up the scene, which we would get later on when stuff's added. But like things like the aliens, if you can imagine sort of going to a wrecked ship and having alien creatures about that are making noises and stuff as well.
Yeah, I think the guys. You've uncovered pretty much it. Weathers, aliens. People talking.
Any noise.
To be fair, I'm just when I think of like ambient noises, I'm always reminded of my trip to New York, and I was staying in New York. And everyone that goes to New York, the rooms are really small because obviously the space is kind of limited. And I'll always remember kind of coming back from a heavy night out, drinking, whatever. It's quite late, and I remember kind of like about to go to sleep, and then all I could hear was this thumping sound against the wall, and then I would like lean against the wall, and then all I could hear was the couple that obviously somebody was having a very nice time next to me. So maybe some
of my favourite moments in life, Magnus. Honestly,
someone was very happy. Didn't go on for particularly long, but someone was very happy, and then I was just like, "Wow, okay, well that's a first." Clock that one. I did want to kind of give him a round of applause. It's kind of just kind of like, "Well done, woo!" But it just wouldn't have gone down well.
Should have done.
No. Yeah, should have. Yeah, should have. I'm always. Yeah,
just put a little note under the door the next morning. You did well, son.
Well done, mate. Well done. Good job.
10 out
Good
of
job.
10.
Does your wife know?
Again.
Does your wife know what you're up to?
Honestly, the things I think. It's like, I'll talk about it another time. There's some stories I'll talk about on my stream sometime. But it sounds, yeah. I mean, just ambient sounds, really good alien sounds. The same thing. Very much like communication, to be able to talk to people, sounds and all that stuff. So yeah, what they've said. There's nothing else I can really add. I don't think.
Okay, cool.
Next question.
So next question is from Salek, and he says, "What do you think about the Reliant variants? Will it be worth considering in future?" I should say they say, because I don't know if it is a he. But Reliant variants. So I suppose that's like the news van, the Scout, and what was the other? They didn't have a racer, did they? What was the other Reliant? Yeah,
The news van.
Scout.
Just generally, I'm not much of a fan of that ship, but mainly just because of the aesthetic, like
I love the
mechanic
look
of
of that
it.
ship.
I don't mind. I don't know, but the news van I like the idea of, but that's just generally because
science.
of that mechanic. I hope there will be another ship that does the same thing.
Sorry, this is the ship that you give people that you don't want them to play the game. Now I remember.
I love the look of the ship, but it just doesn't fly very well. But if it was actually manoeuvring and flow well, I'd be really happy. I do actually like the look of the ship. But as for the variants and whether they work, I mean, the news van, I do hope that they get round to making that mechanic and it works well, because I think it would be a really nice addition to the game, being able to have people that can potentially broadcast a battle and you could be sitting at a bar and watching someone's live broadcast. I think that sort of thing would be a really awesome mechanic. As for like the science one on that, well, would the Reliant? I suppose the Reliant's got the advantage of, like I said, if they sorted the flying mechanics and that it's a kind of 2-person small ship. So doing the science and scouting, it could potentially work if you're working with somebody else. Although now the Avenger's going to start doing that. Didn't that have 2 seats in the new one?
Has it got 2 seats in the
It always had. It always had. Was meant to have 2 seats, and then they only gave it one, and then everyone was like,
sure.
You've
and then
just
it's
blown
now-
my mind.
It has got 2 seats in the new one, but I don't know if that's all variants or just one or something either. But
I think it's going to be all of them because it's the cockpit, and the cockpit doesn't seem to change too much between them all, unless they needed extra space. But I think they've separated now, from what I can tell, the cockpit from the rest of the ship. So it's like you get in from the front like all the other ships, right? You don't get in like you did in the back. Or can you get in the back? I have to double check. I'll have to double check that one. But I know it looks this separated. I'm just going to... The science ship... you know what the Reliant reminds me of? It reminds me of a ship in Eve. And it's like a white ship. And I'm trying...
The Galente... there's a Galente ship that's kind of similar. It's a cruiser, I think, that's on the side.
Yeah, it just reminds me of that one. I can't remember what the life of me is. It's like a science ship, the science one. You know, the sciencey white one that's kind of... It's back in the day, like a long time ago. Oh, I can't remember it now. It doesn't matter. Well, I played at Eve a long time ago now. There's a lot more ships now than when I was playing. But it's like a white one. It was a sciencey... I couldn't do anything. It was weak as shit. It got destroyed in seconds whenever I went out with it. So it was just...
Yeah, I think if you like
cargo.
the look of the Reliant, then just keep your fingers crossed and hope that they make it a better ship.
Yeah, like I said.
If you don't like
will.
the look of it, then don't probably bother. There's going to be other ships that will do.
I'm pretty sure people have said to me that it handles like crap in atmosphere, which kind of makes sense because it's like it's the opposite of a wing.
You know, when it goes sideways, it's landing only. They need to change that so it's not landing only when it's the other orientation. To be honest, but
maybe when it enters atmosphere, it should automatically go horizontal. You know, that would kind of make sense.
I think it's something that's probably going to need more work on, to be honest, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yep. I still can't remember what it is on Eve. I'll have to dig out later. Oh, hang on. Oh, no. That's not it. Sorry. Got excited. Premature.
Question that we've got is from Lieutenant Dan, and he asks the guest, how much fun is 6 versus 6? 6 versus ticks? I don't know. 6 versus 6 attack and defend.
Oh gosh, are we talking about when we tried playing Capture the Poop yesterday?
Oh, do tell. Do explain.
So we had an idea where we were going to play Capture the Flag, but the flag was going to be a poop container. But that didn't really go down too well. So it ended up just being 6 versus 6, which was fun up until, I had no frame rates and I just instant died. So I think for the time being, we're just going to stick with Arena Commander for now until we get some optimization.
Which is a shame because I think that's what it's happening a little bit. But hopefully we'll get a few like these minor patches that will increase some
the best
frames and things to make it a bit more playable.
The best part of that whole scenario was it was me and the Few, and we both had 2 teams. It was the Noodle Nation versus the Enlightened Few. And the best bit was we were all on Port Olisar and we had a typical sports
Noodle
team.
Nation.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm loving that name.
The Moist Nation. Which
all 5 of us were the Noodle Nation, right? So we had a lineup on the landing pad, typical school scenario. There were lots of people having flashbacks and nightmares from school. And the Few was trying to be very polite, and he was randomly picking people, whereas I was picking the best people, and I left the shittest to last.
So if you were on that stream and you got picked by Moist Noodle last, congratulations, because you are the shittest.
But no, I think that was probably my favorite moment, purely because we were all so excited to be playing a game and have a goal in the PU. Yeah, exactly. So once we have the optimization, doing stuff like that is going to be so much fun, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and that's because we were talking about, like you said, just before the show, and how it's dropped off a little bit, and we were sort of discussing why. And I think, like you said, it's the performance is stopping people coming back, because I think if you had that performance, then you can make things like that up to make the gameplay a little bit more fun.
It's still going to have drop off with the mechanics they are at the moment.
We discussed it. Well, we know it's going to drop off. We know, and that's what we're saying. There's an element of the frames and how bad it is to play for some people. Some people have got it well, but then there's also, obviously what you did needs more people. So if you're trying to play it as more of a solo player, it's going to be limited to what you can do. And then there's the fact that, like I've seen quite a few people that play it for a bit, do a few cargo runs, and then they log off and play a different game. So it's kind of mixed at the moment, but I think there's still plenty more I think we can do on it. You just got to be creative with the way you do it and things like that. But I think, like you said, with the frames the way they are, it's putting people off.
Earlier, when we were talking about the atmosphere, Death Ghost just mentioned Defend, I think, was intense just waiting. And he's right. It was really bizarre. When we were defending and we were sat down at an outpost and we were waiting to ambush and stuff like that, and we knew that there were enemies coming to attack us, it was generally really atmospheric, and nobody was really talking, and you could hear a pin drop. Everyone was so nervous because you didn't know when they were going to arrive. So yeah.
When I'm arriving, it's this burning aurora crashing down,
bouncing through the scene, completely disrupting the moment.
The funniest part of the whole scenario, we actually had somebody in a Cutlass Black who was just filming. And the guy in our Cutlass Black who dropped us off, he dropped off one team on one side of the outpost, the other team on the other side of the outpost, and he thought the other Cutlass was there to attack him. So our Cutlass pilot ended up Actually, it was Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan, I think, went chasing after him to kill him. So we were one person down to begin with anyway.
Fantastic.
See, this is the problem with the Reliant news van. Unless it's a bright yellow colour or something, people are going to try and shoot you down. It's like,
there we go. Lieutenant Dan has just put the clip of the lineup in chat. And that, for me, that was just the best bit, because we were all just having fun. And it was kind of like the anticipation of actually going and doing something.
Currently
got the Few. Nice. Hang on. Is that with the Few?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll bring it up on stream. I'll bring it up on video.
We did something similar a long time ago when we was trying to do some videos on but this was like a year or so ago, and it is so much nicer when you can get a load of people on the same server. This was, I don't know how we managed to do it back then, but I did a flyover, and it was like recording it from there as all these ships went together and flying over, and it's something nice about seeing people working together and doing these sort of things.
Yeah.
For me,
I don't think
it's nice because I've been playing the game for a year, and some people have been playing the game for 3-4 years. And when you have new people coming into the game and they do these type of things that we did in 2.5, or I did in 2.5, and we got everyone together and we were doing combat in Korea. We were doing 6v6 in Korea. We were trying to take down the station and stuff. We were doing all these things as well, and it's nice to see new people coming in and then doing differently, and then doing it on Planet and getting the same buzz that I had anyway back then. I get to enjoy your buzz, if that makes any sort of sense, because I've already done it. So it's like,
the thing that I really like about the Few at the moment, because although he has been a backer for a very long time, I think he's only actively been playing for a very short time. So I'm pretty sure, give it a few months, I won't be able to stand him anymore. I'm just going to make the most of it now.
Enjoy him while you can.
Yeah, pretty
use and abuse.
Awesome stuff. I actually have very quickly, it's not so much a question, but it's more of a kind of an observation. So we know the Mustang's getting a rework. It kind of is a question, and it's to do with this ship. So I'm going to bring up the picture now. It's the Omega. So it's actually, this is a kind of like a unique ship. It became part of the AMD kind of package, a bit like how the Raven comes with the Octane. And I'm kind of interested to see if this is just going to be purely a skin, because I was looking at it going, it looked like the nose was slightly different to the standard Mustang, and it looked like it had like little features and stuff. So I was kind of curious if they will rework the Omega Mustang.
They are
rework.
have to, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because that ship's not part of item 2.0, is it not?
Yeah, didn't they say they were reworking all of them?
They must do.
Yeah,
They have to. So I'm just kind of like, it's quite a sexy ship. It's quite a rare ship, the Omega, and I'm curious to see what it's going to look like. But it was just something I was just thinking about.
They might just redesign it to look like the original, to be fair.
I would imagine so. The skin, I guess they'll just do a skin, but maybe it'll just be. But because this one had a unique kind of like styling, it had like little parts of it were different and unique, and it was a racing. I think it was a racing version. So it would be. I'm interested to see what it's going to look like. All Mustangs were item 2.0 converted for 3.0. It hasn't received a visual update yet. Okay.
Oh, okay. There we go.
But I just because it's got like it's had bits on it that's different. So I'm kind of I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Well, there we go. Every flight-ready ship at this point has received item 2.0 setup pass. Anyone saying a ship hasn't is wrong. Okay, I'll shut up then. Sorry.
Wrong. Correctly.
Every ship.
Oh, actually, this is my next thing. Okay, and I'm going to slightly correct myself because I was originally quite salty about it, and some people agree with me. But then I kind of was like, well, probably not. But the minifigures of the Vanduul. Now, this is my thing. It's like, why give us the minifigures of the Vanduul when we haven't even seen them finished in like Squadron 42 in any sort of like visual effects kind of manner and stuff? We haven't actually physically seen them, but yet they gave us the figures before we've seen them.
I'm going to say now that I have quite an old Luke Skywalker model. It looks nothing like Mark Hamill, so what the hell?
Yeah, but you didn't get that model before the film came out, though.
I think what they are.
True.
Like the trailer, at least the trailer was out before you probably even the model was even being properly considered. That was just my thought on it. I was like,
we have vaguely seen Vanduul in trailers,
but that's my thing. We have seen a lot of the artwork behind. We've seen the sketches. We've seen the drawings. They've kind of shown. This is the kind of like this is in my head. It's like it kind of loses. It's like imagine if you saw the xenomorph in the movie Alien. Lots of it all building up before we saw the movie. Do you think that there's potentially the impact of that character is perhaps lost, the shock, the surprise, because we've seen so much of them leading up to the event? That's kind of like what
Citizen Sandman. I couldn't remember which trailer it was, but he just said we saw sort of saw them in the Driller video. We saw them in the Driller video a bit, and then we saw them briefly in the prospect of the kind of thing. But I'm just waiting to see the finished version of the Vanduul, as it were.
The thing is, we're backing and following and playing a game that's releasing information about. You just shown us spoilers at the start with the ships that were leaked. So, like,
I'm just. It's a conversation. I'm not saying I'm not guilty.
I'm just saying, unless you stop watching it, that's it. It's how much information do they show? People want to see that they're working on it, but at the same breath, it's like, well, I don't want that to spoil it. It can't really do that.
Yeah. it's the double-edged sword, isn't it? That's the reality of it. But it was just
You never know. They might end up changing those models later on. So
well, I like. Miz he does paint, prattle, and roll on what day is it? Is it tomorrow?
Tuesday night, yeah.
Tuesday night. So Miz does a show where he paints little kind of like Star Citizen figures, and he does other D&D figures and all sorts of cool stuff. And so for me, I'm similar. I like collecting my toys and figures, so I'm actually quite excited by the figure collection as the flares and stuff. I quite like that, so I'm certainly
I'm glad that they're doing something different, because back in December I was my viewers will say in chat, I'm sure, I was complaining a lot because I was so fucking fed up of the blueprints. It was the same thing every month, and I'm so pleased just that we've got something else now. And when I said that, there were lots of people saying, "Oh, but why would they waste development time when we could?" And I was fucking happy with the Big Benny's vending machine. I would accept literally anything as a flare, a pool table, a basketball hoop,
I think that's
whatever.
What people were saying when people were moaning, saying why they're wasting their time. They're not. They're using actual models and then just scaling them down and putting that as a minifigure, pretty much. So the Vanduul will be a designed Vanduul shrunk down.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it'd be quite funny if it wasn't. If it was like an old model and it was shit, like a really bad model of the actual real Vanduul.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool as well.
But that could be a thing, though, because they could literally turn around and say, yeah, but this was made by X Toy Corporation, who were really cheap.
Before they knew what they looked like properly.
Lord, the model collectors will go nuts for it already. It'd be like crazy, like
that's it. This
special,
is
rare, limited
first edition Vanduul action figure.
You can see that like geeking out.
As long as the action figures have like those unboxing ones where the little lever on the back and they punch. Little
can you imagine if that actually becomes a profession in Star Citizen toy collecting? Like that would be amazing.
There will be. There'll be stores selling them, and you'll go to them, and you'll have to pick up your rare, limited edition, whatever character, Mark Hamill character. Oh, it'd be great. I love that stuff.
As long as we got something like a Pokedex, right? I'll be happy.
Yeah, we trade them, and you could for gambling. All the mini stuff, all that mini stuff that they can do to just flesh out extra things. Like, I mean, if you forget, like in Witcher, Gwent, the card game Gwent, is now a game that's probably more popular on Twitch than The Witcher is as a game in terms of running. So it's like, they could create mini games and mini adventures and mini things that could be more enjoyable than the actual, more. It could
this
be.
Is kind of like this is kind of like the whole esports thing. And this is what I was trying to explain. I can never really explain it that well. The best esports are the ones that never really planned to be esports. There are so many games where they've tried to force the whole esports thing and it's never worked. And it's one of the things that I love about Star Citizen. I really look forward to seeing some of these like small mechanics and mini games and see what they actually turn into. I love the idea of having some sort of Pokemon style toy hunt.
Gotta land on planets and find these rare toy sellers.
Why play D&D in real life and have to be exposed to germs and the common cold when you can all sit in a constellation around the table with your little toy figures? That would be amazing.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna draw the winner of this amazing prize that's been given to us from the Few and Moist Noodle. Thank you so much, guys. It's really great. Thank you for giving letting us give this awesome prize away. So I am going to. So if anyone wants to jump in now, it is, I believe, it's exclamation tonk to enter.
Yep.
Remind anyone if anyone wants to do it.
Did you? Oh.
Does it work? No, raffle doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work, because my command didn't work.
Of course it doesn't. But exclamation tonk works.
Exclamation tonk works, but there you go.
Okay, so exclamation tonk to enter the raffle. Anyone wants to get in last minute, you have it. We are going to be wrapping it up in literally, when my clock turns to 40, we will close it. And it's at 39 right now. So get it in, boys. Wait for it.
So while that's doing that and everybody's entering that, do you want to just wrap up and then
Rundown? yeah, let's just wrap up. So, Moist, where can people find you? What's your schedule? All that stuff, and what you're doing the rest of the week.
On the internet, on Twitch, twitch.tv/moist_noodle. I tend to stream every day from 6 p.m. UTC to until I'm too drunk to stream anymore. And I mostly just chat shit. So if you just want someone... Oh, I also tend to... Because I volunteer at a radio station, so I'm very music-based. So 80s and 90s music is quite a heavy feature on my stream. So if that's your kind of thing, then... and if you like sexual innuendo, then definitely visit me at Moist.
Yeah,
Moist
I'm penciling Moist in for pretty much most of summer. Probably most of winter as well. Now I've got him. He's on the list.
It's okay. Yeah. I don't leave my house. I'll be here waiting until the next stream.
Call me back. He said he'd call me back.
Don't forget, guys, if you are in the UK, just one more pimp out for BritainCon UK. If you haven't bought a ticket yet, go to britainCon.uk, have a look, buy yourself a ticket, and do yourself a favour. Come to Manchester in the end of April and join us at BritainCon. It's definitely worth it. It's in its 3rd year now. God, I can't remember how many years this go past now. But yeah, so get a ticket, come join, see most of us except for Madness because he banged his wife.
Accidentally impregnated my wife.
There was probably somebody in the next hotel room listening to the whole thing.
The fact that's worse is the fact that I completely didn't pay attention to the time frame of it. And I've been saying, yeah, I'm going to go to BritainCon. And then I talked to my wife. I was like, oh, I'm going to go to BritainCon. I'm going to buy some tickets. She's like, when is it? 21st of April. She's like, I'm 8.5 months pregnant. You're not going anywhere. Oh, shit.
You're on lockdown.
Fuck.
So, yeah, you got wrecked, son.
Yeah. I was like, one of those moments. One of those moments. But yeah, check it out. I was chatting to one of the event organisers at Bar Citizen in London. So again, if anyone is from the UK, come to Bar Citizens in London. We do them every 2 weeks. If you're not curious, ask me again on a DM in Discord. Send me a message, whatever. Come into my stream. If you want to come, I'll give you the information. Do come along. I go to them. I think we had like 20 people. About nearly 20 people last time. And I was chatting to one of the guys who organises BritainCon, and he was telling me some amazing stuff that's going on. So if you come along, you've got a great opportunity to potentially find out some really cool things and extra tidbits and stuff that you wouldn't normally get. So it's well worth coming to these things, these extra things that people do if you like Star Citizen. And I'll be streaming a little bit Madness with Miz, and I will be doing Stout and Sturdy on Friday. Hopefully, should be going back to our role playing on Dungeons and Dragons and streaming.
Don't like D&D, still come anyway because it's a laugh. And
yeah,
Madness
it's just
died. Madness has died once already.
My character's already died.
Goodness, I don't know why I don't understand why nobody thought to do a D&D role play stream before. It could turn into such a huge thing.
Who knows? Who knew? So yeah, we do that, and we're going to be doing some other content as well for the YouTube channel as soon as we've got a little bit of free time. So we're going to drop some videos, and we've got some good stuff coming. So right, let's draw it. I said I'll draw it. Let's draw it. Right, let me bring live up on.
Follow here. Make sure you go and follow Moist Noodle if you're not already. Follow Madness. Right. Follow myself.
Raffles closed. That's it. What we're going to do is, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, you will obviously have to use a word. What word shall we use?
Moist is on the rampage again. Is your account going to kill you?
What do you want to use as a claim word?
Moist.
Okay, so moist, the claim word. And if you don't speak English, I will bring it up very quickly now. So give me a second. I will bring up the text so you don't have to spell it.
Title.
Oh, sorry, not wet. My mistake.
Wet.
I'm not quite wet. I'm just a little bit moist.
Moist. There you go. Moist is the word. If you could put that in chat. Blah 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 blah. Fine. Okay. Good. Right. We're about to draw the winner. Good luck, everyone. Congratulations. Whoever wins.
Well done.
Good luck. Good luck.
Oh.
Phantom Killer. Look for Phantom Killer.
Phantom Killer.
Phantom Killer, is you? Are you
The thing
there?
is, I think Moist has just given everyone subs, so pretty much if he wasn't a sub, he is anyway.
Oh, is he just? Hang on, let me just check if he's a sub. I just realised I've got to check if he's a sub, haven't I? God damn it.
Yeah, he's just said it. No, he's here and he's just said it anyway.
Oh, has he said it? Oh, good. Cool.
There we go.
Congratulations, Mr. Phantom Killer. You have won yourself a tonk. It sounds like you keep winning things, but then so does everybody. So.
Yeah, it's always
I sub
somebody.
my favourite people first, so next week, then if you get a sub, then you're not my favourite person. But the people here today are my favourite people. There we go.
Yeah, get in contact with Moist.
So yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for your support and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Anyone that didn't catch the whole show or missed the beginning or missed the end, because that's why you're still here, we will be uploading it to YouTube tomorrow. We've now got a new channel, the Asylum or Asylum F.
Yeah, YouTube.
There we go. Jesus, I remember it. We don't think is the link in the bot yet. Probably not.
I think it is.
It is. Okay. Was it YouTube? Is it? Ah, there we go. Go over to our YouTube, please. Go and give it a follow.
Subscribe.
Just to help us get the numbers back up, because we've sort of moved over to that with the whole new show. So yeah. Really appreciate it, guys.
We may even stream on our new Asylum channel as well at some point as well, which would be quite cool. So we may do that as well for the future. All right then.
So we're wrapping up Madness.
I'm going to wrap it up. Yep. All right then, guys. Take care.
Farewell, friends.
Farewell, everyone. Until next Monday, or if you come, like I say, check us out on Friday for Stout and Sturdy. Take care,
In the
guys.
meantime, I'm going to go and wash all my ships with my boobs.
I'm just gonna end actually. I think tonight.
End it. Oh, end it on the Britizen thing, like we said. Just put that on. And
Yeah. Hang on. All right, guys. We'll bring up a video and then we're done. Not that video. Not that video.
Right, for God's sake, Madness.
I'm not planning this stuff.
You failed. We're going to show a video and then raid someone.
Oh yeah, we'll raid. I'll set up the raid for the few as he gave us the.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
BritainCon 2017 was incredible.
Oh, you got the right one. Okay.
Twice as
So
many
Willis is
people
about halfway.
attended
I don't know how long
than
the raid lasts. How long is this
2016.
video?
We had twice as many dev panels as 2016.
Hello.
One on design and one on technology, including the legendary Brian Chambers. Fantastic prizes in our Arena Commander competition, and much more.
Can I go for a wee now?
But
Get your
BritainCon
sweet
2018 is going to be
Are we
even
done?
bigger.
I need a poo.
Shh, video.
More competitions, more competitors, and more prizes. More exhibitors showing
Starting
off
to turtle
everything
head,
from
if you know
fan-made
what I mean.
costumes to the latest peripherals and hardware.
Okay.
A better live stream and a bigger Bar Citizen. With dev panels galore and arcade machines to play. Immerse yourself in Star Citizen for a day. Come to BritainCon 2018 on Saturday the 21st of April 2018 at the Radisson Blu, Manchester Airport. Follow the links to the BritainCon website below and reserve your place with tiered and standard tickets available now. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to meet your fellow citizens and the devs making our dreams come true. BritainCon 2018.
Thank you and goodbye, everyone. Good night.
Goodbye.
Good night. Bye bye.
And done.
My poor laptop is melting. It's really struggling.
Probably.
Little Bit of Madness is rating 56. Holy cow. So much love today. Like, oh man, I got so many people rating my chat.